The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93
It's Thursday. You bet it is. It is. You bet. And we can't thank you enough for hanging out with us here on the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Don't worry, Josh. You can keep it in your pants. We'll talk about MnDOT's silly-ass Name a Snowplow contest right here from the get-go if you want to.
You know what? I left it out of the news because I know it drives you nuts. And, you know, it's every state does it. Well, the ones with snow, every single year.
They do?
And it's if you look at, like, some articles from different states, they'll be so proud of, hey, look at these clever names. Well, we did it here already. We started that. Yeah,
we did?
We already have those snowplows. You can't take credit for that.
Okay.
Did Minnesota be the one that started this whole thing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I thought like it was Canada. It was some other place that started it.
Friggin'
But
Canadian.
we perfected it.
Josh loves puns. And this year contest, the Minnesota Department of Transportation's Name a Snowplow contest, it's a pun NATO. It's a pun NAMI.
Oh, it always is.
It's a pun quake. All wrapped into one. See, I figured you'd be just doing backflips.
Oh, I read all the articles. I just don't bring it up anymore because it drives you insane. So I'm surprised you're bringing it up. You're a new man.
Well, I'm doing it for you. Yeah, puns drive me crazy. I have a very short tolerance for puns. But, of course, I'm doing it to make you happy. I love you.
Well, I love you as well.
Voting has begun in the contest. So has it been a couple years since we've brought this up? And I didn't realize this.
We did last year, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've done it several years in a row. After last year's reaction and response and lack of interest, I thought maybe we don't bring this up anymore.
I was wondering how long you've been sheltering me from this. Has it been more than a couple of years?
No, just this year.
You don't need to shelter me from it. I can handle it. I mean, it's going to piss me off. It's going to aggravate me a little bit. There are a couple in here that I do like. I'm not an animal. I'm not a psycho killer on the loose. Voting has begun. You can help. This is what MnDOT says. You can help name our snowplows. This year they received 7,300 creative names for the contest. I don't know when they begin taking in these suggestions, but they've selected a list of 50. They're down to 50. And now it's Minnesotans' turn to choose the best names. When you vote, you can select up to 8 names at a time, and voting is open all the way through next Friday. So here are some of the final finalists.
What county did you say this was again? Is this... Because Washington County, they announced theirs already.
Oh, I thought this was for the smooth state from one end to the other.
Different counties do it at different times.
I have no idea. This is obviously not something that I follow terribly closely. I saw no verbiage in the article about a county, in specifically one county or another. I'll just dump them on you anyway. Some of these I actually like. There's a couple I wanted to ask you about because I don't understand the reference. I have no problem with 86753 O'Brien.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, that's wonderful.
No problem at all. The old Tommy Two-Tone song. Wasn't it Tommy Two-Tone?
Yep. I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be stuck in my head all day.
There's worse things, Ashley.
That's true.
Yeah, yesterday we listened to the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Oh, man, I forgot about that.
Accumulus removus. Anthony Sledwords.
That's great.
That's good.
Don't just snow. Flake Superior. Now, here's a couple 3 in a row that I don't understand. Hot to snow. Hot?
Like Hot to Go?
Hot to Go. The Marcus Foligno song, Hottigo.
I don't know that one.
Remember he sang that?
Oh, yeah. I remember we had a conversation about it, but I still haven't heard the song. In My Blizzard Era is another one I'm lost on.
Oh,
It's a Taylor
people
Swift
always,
thing.
Yeah, and people always say, like, in my hot girl era, in my hot boy era.
That's a thing. Young people talk like that?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Fair enough. This is French, a French reference. El Plow du Nord?
Isn't that our state slogan or whatever you call it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Huh?
I like that one.
Our state slogan?
Yeah.
What is our state slogan?
Maybe not slogan. Maybe that's not the right word.
It used to be on the Minnesota state flag. It
Really?
was something like "Du Nord," yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the state slogan. It's our motto.
And
Nickname.
so what does it translate to?
Star of the North.
Star of the North. Never heard that in my life. Then you move on to things like Melton John. Again, I deleted some really simple, silly ones that sounded like something a sixth grader would come up
Did
with.
you delete Control Salt? Delete?
Yes, I believe I did.
You got rid of that one?
That one's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Melton John. Oh, Snow, you didn't. Orange peeler. I'm guessing that's a reference to the color of the vehicle.
Yeah, could
I would
be, I
assume
guess.
so.
I don't know.
All right. Plower power. Rudy Gobert.
That's great.
That's fun.
I like that one because I've heard it before. Timberwolves ball player Leonard Miller. You don't see him on the court very often. He's a up-and-comer type of a cat. He will be playing in something that's going on at the All-Star game this year, the Young Stars game or whatever, because he's like an up-and-comer, doesn't play a lot of regular season games at all. But a few months ago, I was watching some Timberwolves programming, and they were passing around baby pictures of each other. And then Timberwolves players were challenged to identify which teammate it was by their baby picture. And someone handed, maybe, I don't know where Leonard Miller is from. I thought he was Canadian. But anyway, someone passes Leonard Miller a picture of Rudy Gobert as a baby. And this is how Miller said it. Miller looked at the picture and said, "Oh, that's Gobert." And so my wife and I have been saying Gobert for months now, and now here it is as a possible snowplow here in the state of Minnesota. Rudy Gobert.
I don't like this one from Tiny Hammer Jesus. Josh's mom, because nothing gets plowed more than Josh's mom. You know, that's not how I wanted to start the morning.
No, it never is.
547.
Snow country for cold men, Sub-Zero hero. I don't know if this was a misprint, but someone's looking to name a plow just simply "You're welcome." Or is that a misprint? Does anyone know? Is that a reference to? Fair enough.
I was thinking, when you say "You're welcome," I think of the Moana song.
I don't know the Moana
I don't know
song.
if that's probably has nothing to do with it, since that's a warm climate.
Is that?
What about Andrew DePlowa?
Yeah.
You like that one?
Not really. No.
The Washington County one. So they had 1,200 name ideas that came in.
1,200.
1,200. And they had Sir Plows a lot. That one comes around every year.
Yeah.
Land of 10,000 Flakes.
10,000 flakes.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like some of the. I know you'll probably hate this one, Nick. Skull Plow.
Yeah, we need to stop it with that skull crap. That bit sucks.
How about Snowy Keith? Stone Cold Steve Frostin.
How did that one not win?
That should have made it.
Yeah.
When you
D-Ice Ice Baby.
D-Ice baby.
Yeah.
When you say it, Josh, it takes the sting away. It does. It does.
Because you can hear the joy in your voice of delivering these puns.
Snowy Keith.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's great.
What was that?
The Snowy Keith one?
Snowy Keith.
So good. But yeah, Stone Cold Steve Frostin. Even if it's not one of the better ones, that's cool to have.
And I just drive around and follow that plow all day long.
I would love that on a mug or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be good,
I think didn't we already do Plow Bunyan?
Probably.
A lot of these come back every year.
Yeah,
right?
they come back. Previous winners, Taylor Drift, Clark W. Bliswald, Beyond Slay, Cleopatra. Better Call Salt, hand snow low, blader tot hot dish, scoop, there it is, Fleetwood Mac, control. Oh, there's Control Salt Delete, the big Leplowski, Plowosaurus Rex, Scoop Dog, Edward Blizzard Hands, Plowy McPlowface, shut up. Snowby 1, Kenobi, F. Salt, Fitzgerald. I'm trailing away, aren't I?
Yeah, these a lot of these ones, if you followed this at all, you've heard before. They
sure
come up every year.
Josh, I'm always going to sacrifice a little for you.
Well, I really appreciate that.
I don't ever want you to can material because it's going to aggravate me. 8 topics out of 10 are going to aggravate me.
Well, sometimes it's on purpose because I think the aggravation can be humorous, and I know you like getting going a little bit. But if there's ones because if it was a yearly thing, it's like, all right, maybe that's played out on the radio. But I'm glad you brought it up because I do like that kind of thing.
I know you do. What year was it, Josh, when you were in the running for Minnesota State jump rope champion? It was. I know it was a long time ago.
This was 1986.
86?
Yeah, 87,
well, you were like
I just missed the cut.
You were 11. You were 10.
I was a 6th grader.
That was when you were in the running for jump rope state champion.
Yeah.
What happened to your athleticism? Because it was there at one point or another.
I was pretty good. I was right up there with some of the better girls in the league.
Was it puberty that destroyed your athleticism? You just became awkward?
I think that's it. Genetics, puberty, bad attitude, lack of effort, kind of a combination.
Did you hear this story of heroism?
Yes.
Just straight up heroism?
Absolutely.
From a jump rope champion.
And he doesn't look like what I'd expect a jump rope champion to look like.
I didn't see a picture of the guy.
I'd expect a jump rope champion to look like a 6th grade girl. But that's not what this gentleman looked like at all.
Did you get into jump? I suppose you younger people, you never went near a jump rope.
No, I did quite a bit.
Yeah.
We had a gym
all the time.
Yeah,
we did.
You did some of the time.
Yeah, we did it in gym, and that was big on. It was big on the playground.
Yeah,
we did it in gym, soccer.
We never did it in sports or in gym because that's incredibly boring. We played like dodgeball and stuff, but we did do jump rope for heart every year.
Jump for heart?
Yeah, it was, I believe, some type of charity. I can't remember exactly what charity it was.
For the American Heart Association.
Yeah, that sounds right. And so you would like go around, sell candy bars, and then at the end you just jump rope.
If you want some good comedy, go to a boxing class for adults, especially ones that are just getting into it, and watch them try and jump rope. That can be pretty hilarious.
It's a lot harder than it was in 3rd grade.
I can still do some of the cool stuff, like the crisscross.
What about the double under?
I don't. I would have to see what you're talking about.
At any of your elementary schools, did you guys ever have like the jump roping club that came through? They were like adults that could do all sorts of crazy tricks with the jump ropes.
No memories
that
of such a thing.
Really familiar, Dana.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was such a thing.
No memory of
they
such
came in and they were doing all the cool like arm over the leg and stuff like that, and all the crazy like double tricks and stuff. And they were like gods to us kids. Like they was like seeing the celebrities, like seeing the Timberwolves come out.
Well, you watch, you see Rocky train with it and stuff like that. You think, oh, I want to be just like that. Mm-hmm. So some of those things seem kind of, or you watch like boxers, right? Where always seem to do it, and it was kind of cool.
I was one day I was sitting on the bar stool and I was watching whatever was on the TV, and all of a sudden it switched to double Dutch competition jump roping. That was mind-blowing what they were doing. They were basically like break dancing in the jump rope while they were jumping over it. They were jumping over the people that were twirling the rope, doing backflips, front flips.
When are you not on a bar stool these days?
What?
When are you not on a bar stool these days?
I haven't been to a bar in a while, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
A champion jump roper from Indiana used his double Dutch rope or ropes to save a drowning man from a frozen pond after that man fell smooth through the ice with his dog. David Fisher is this champion jump roper. He says his neighbor and his neighbor's dog, well, the neighbor's dog started chasing geese on the semi-frozen pond. This is a couple weeks ago. The dog crashes through the ice and found itself in deep yogurt, as an old coworker of mine used to say. That dog was in deep, deep yogurt. The owner of the dog goes out onto the ice to save his pooch, of course, and only an 18-year-old kid. is the owner of this dog. So the dog goes through the ice, and the 18-year-old kid does too. And the 18-year-old kid is screaming, "I'm gonna drown!" The jump rope champion's son alerts him to what the hell's going on, and Dad runs out there with his jump ropes. This guy, David Fisher, the jump rope king, writes books about... he actually writes books about a jump roping superhero.
Cute.
Right? That's what he does in his free time, and then the sumbitch became a real-life jump roping superhero.
Like we're all around the world, this guy. He's like world famous in these circles.
He's known for his writing?
For his jump roping.
For his jump roping.
Yeah, he's traveled the world for it.
He said it was just instinct. I went and grabbed my bag of jump ropes. I pulled out the double Dutch ropes. I headed out onto the ice, and as soon as I got out there, I could hear it cracking underneath my feet.
Oh, that's scary. I hate that sound.
When I finally did arrive, I slung the rope around the 18-year-old kid. He grabbed one handle, and bit by bit, we pulled him out of the pond. The dog drowned.
Oh.
In hugs and kisses after they pulled him out, too.
Dude, I was like, did they really just leave the dog there? Come on.
You bite on that every time, Ashley.
I know. Well,
And every story he tells, the dog dies, Ashley.
That one was more believable, though, if they only have time to save... They're obviously going to save the kid first.
My dog died last night while I was editing this story. How bizarre is that?
Oh, Gertie.
No, she's just fine. So David Fisher, saved the 18-year-old kid, saved the dog, then brought him into their house to warm up, and now the local city council has honored him as a hero.
Now, I know what he meant by this statement, but considering the circumstances where he's this double Dutch champion or whatever, and he saves the guy with jump ropes he had in a jump rope bag.
Yeah.
I loved it when he said, hey, I just did what anybody else would do. Grab your jump ropes and go save the kid and his dog.
Yeah, you did say that kind of nonchalantly. Yeah, so I just grabbed my bag of jump ropes that everybody has at their disposal.
Nick, did you read that he's a world record holder for jump roping while sitting down?
I was just getting to that, yes.
What is that?
I don't know. He is a champion rope jumper or jump roper. I wonder which one is acceptable in that community. But Ashley's right. He holds 3 world records. One of them is jump roping while sitting down.
I got to see video
That's my
of this.
kind of jump roping.
And now he's a real-life hero. Going through the ice, that's no fun. I went through the ice in my pickup truck a number of years. Well, only the ass end. Oh, that was a iffy situation.
Hey, you were one of those? You went out too early?
If you've seen in the last week, there's been a couple that have gone through. And,
I can't imagine the whole stinking thing. We got it out. We did. I can't imagine the whole stinking thing because just the ass end going through the ice, I dove out of the cab of that truck like I was on fire.
How'd you get it out? Jump rope?
Yes. We were able to pile enough human beings. I was able to back tires, ass end of the vehicle was in the water. I was able to smash the gas pedal and get those tires spinning enough to where they were resting on the edge of the ice. And then when we got enough weight in the back, you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
I gunned it again, and I was able to get enough momentum to just eke my way. It wasn't because we were out too early. It's because the co-pilot sitting in my passenger seat, who was the navigator, was drunk, and he set me in the wrong direction.
Oh, gosh darn it.
And it was night. It was nighttime.
Oh, that makes it so much scarier.
I pick up Dinkus at the bar, and we're going to go out ice fishing. And he's already half loaded. And I said, hey, dude, I'm trusting you here because I don't know where I'm going on this lake. I don't know. I'd been on the lake before, but I hadn't entered the lake. I had never used this launch before, you know what I mean? So I wasn't totally familiar with this and that. He says, I got it. And we're going this way, we're going that way. And suddenly he goes, my partner, he goes, no, we're in the wrong area. I'm sorry, we're in the wrong area. Boom! And that's when we went through. Dude in my passenger seat was devastated. He thought, my truck was going to go all the way in, and it was going to be all his fault. I had to talk him down. I was upset and a little scared, of course. I had to talk him down. I had to say, dude, calm down. We'll figure this out. Because as soon as he dove out of the car, he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to say, hang on, just...
Yeah, I'd probably still bring that up decades later and apologize. It would wake me up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I know you would.
Did you guys still go ice fishing after that? Did you call it a day?
Yeah. It's not going to slow us down.
Respect.
All right, back to the topic of jump roping from Jace here. He texted and said, if you want your sweatpants to fit funny, check out some jump rope shuffle dancing ladies. I looked them up, and he's not wrong. Hubba.
Rope shuffle dance.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Compare them if you can, Josh, because I have never seen a jump rope shuffle dance. Compare them, if you can, to the Russian twerk team.
Oh, I don't know if you can compare.
No.
That's a whole different world.
Different leagues.
Yeah.
But you're still saying the jump rope shuffle team is a boner maker?
Well, I'm just seeing kind of individuals doing it. Here, let me see if I can turn this.
Jump rope shuffle team.
Yeah, I need to start jump roping. They have killer bodies.
What in the living hell am I looking at here?
Look at the bounce right there.
Yeah, she pretty.
Yeah.
She pretty. And she's fast with that jump rope. Well.
Thank you, Jace.
How did
now I know.
Thank you for the boner, Jace.
Oh, God.
Jace might be some kind of troubled individual that has seen it all at this point on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing left does it for him?
Yeah. Now he has to have jump roping women. And no offense, Jace, but maybe you've seen too much of the internet that you were able to right on the spot come up with jump rope shuffle dancing.
It was new to me. I'd never heard of it. Oh. It's not a jump rope, but I've always wanted to be able to lasso something.
Oh, sure.
That seems like a really cool talent.
Sure.
I don't know when I'd ever use it. Well, I think for everything.
I'm the wife.
Yeah, like if somebody says, pass the salt, no problem. Here you go.
That'd be so sweet.
Yeah, I would. Now that you bring it up, fun. That's one of the fun parts of watching a rodeo.
I've tried it.
That and the clown, of course. The clown is always hilarious.
Well, if there's a monkey there, I like that.
Oh, yeah. Monkey,
I'm sure someone in our listening audience could teach you how to do that.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to learn. I bet I would frustrate the hell out of my instructor.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have to learn like on Yellowstone where they have that fake bull with the wood.
I don't. What?
I don't know if I saw that, or if I do, I don't remember.
really?
I was too focused on the buckle bunnies and the train station.
Yeah, that's how all the little kids are learning. They're sitting around at parties and they're trying to lasso the little wooden bull.
This was on Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't watch long enough.
God, I wonder if my old man. I can't remember because he knew all kinds of cowboy things when he was young. I wonder if he. Maybe one of my relatives knows. I wish I could teach you, Josh. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I could teach you about Ted Lasso.
I'm an expert. I've watched all the seasons.
All right, fair.
You got to believe.
Just trying to help.
No, I appreciate the effort.
What else is going on this morning? Thursday morning. We're getting there. Oh, Christ. We'll talk to Randy Shaver at 7:30, and he can give us an update on his Florida vacation.
Oh, yeah. He went to Hogland, or he went hogging yesterday. Peppa Pig.
I hope he didn't go hogging at Peppa Pig theme park.
Randy Shaver's in Florida with his grandkids, and yesterday he was heading to Peppa Pig Fun Park with the grandkids. He was all excited about it, and we were kind of worried about him because he's too old for that. Thought maybe he'd pull a hamstring or something. We'll find. We'll talk to him at 7:30.
I forgot. He texted us yesterday a picture, and I never looked at it.
Oh, it's just a boring picture of one of his grandkids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The pig is eating her.
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. So Randy Shaver will be with us a little bit later too. Am I missing anything, Josh?
We got it all.
All right. Fair enough. We'll take a break. Before you know it, we'll be back with, I think coming up next is the stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Welcome to the jungle, clones. It's the Jim Rome Show podcast.
The greatest and loyal fan base ever. You, the clones. It all starts with the jungle. We're in it to win it, and I'm in it to go as hard as I possibly can every day to make sure that you clones get the best possible product every single day. Day one, all in, let's freaking go.
The Jim Rome Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, earlier this morning we were talking about jumping rope, something most of us haven't done since we were, 4. I used to throw ropes.
Oh, gross.
Yucky.
I'm glad I don't know what that means.
Okay, you know what? For the record, me too. But that's disgusting.
Yeah, it was years ago.
I remember the first time somebody told me what that was. And then I woke up in the hospital. It was a combination of laughter and disgust.
Wow, it had quite an effect on you.
It did.
We were talking about jumping rope.
Have you heard slinging webs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Icky.
Turns out jumping rope is not just for kids. 54-year-old listener, Stone Mason Jesus, texted in. He won a jump rope contest with 3 kids. I don't know how long ago this was, but he said they were 20-year-old kids. So it's Stone Mason Jesus and 3 20-year-old kids. They won a jump rope contest. There's no further details, but I'm impressed. He said these younger people were his laborers. He showed them how to jump rope after he had hip replacement surgery. So I'm guessing maybe jumping rope was part of his rehab.
Could very well be.
Rehab.
I picture a stonemason as a pretty tough individual. So I guess I'm not surprised he would dominate some sort of physical activity.
I should ask my bro Curtis about this. He's had 3 hip replacements, and I never heard him tell any stories about jumping rope as part of his rehabilitation, but I'll have to ask him if I see him this weekend. So we talked about jump rope this morning. Tomorrow, Josh, we're gonna cover Foursquare.
Oh, I miss Foursquare.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, I love that game.
We've got a Foursquare court not too far away from us.
Oh, I'm glad the kids are still playing it. Or does it sit empty?
No, that's where they go to vape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what? Playing Foursquare back in grade school, you know what it reminds me of instantly? It reminds me of the day in 5th grade, I believe, that my twin brother and our good pal Mac, who we're still tight with to this day, the day that my brother and Mac upped and beat the piss out of our grade school bully. That was a glorious day.
It's always nice when a bully gets some comeuppance.
Yeah. We had a grade school bully. He was a year older than us. He wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but he was just that character.
Like,
that,
so was he little man syndrome or?
A little bit of that. I don't know why it took us so long to turn on this kid, but when you're a grade school kid, you just don't think straight. But our ultimate grade school bully, just this little prick bastard, he would tune everybody up. He never beat me up, never beat my brother up, never beat Mac up, but he would, you know how it goes. He would just F with everybody. and then slap him around, and everybody was afraid of him. Well, I remember very distinctly, my brother and I and Mac, and I don't know who else, were playing Foursquare. And my brother and Mac saw the grade school bully walking across the, what did they call it back in the day? The playground. They saw our grade school bully walking across the playground, and my brother and Mac said, you know what, let's end this. And they went over and beat the living hell out of him.
Did it change the guy's tune?
It did.
That's good.
Permanently. Which was good.
That is good.
Mm-hmm. All right, speaking of taking a good beating, everybody's got to make a buck, right, Cubby?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully that's what you do.
And there's many a way to make $1 out there. But sometimes you got to get creative. Like this here fella from, it says here, a place called Malaysia. He is a, quote, villain for hire, is what he calls himself. Shazali is the name, 28-year-old young man. He is your villain for hire ski. And one of the, quote, services he offers sounds straight out of a sitcom. He'll help you wimpy dudes look cool in front of your lady. If you are SAWFT soft and you make a deal with Shazali, he'll show up wherever's and make trouble, and then he'll allow you to beat his ass so you can look like a tough guy in front of your hot girlfriend.
That's hilarious.
That is funny.
Although I can see this backfiring in a million ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen it where you, or maybe you've been a part of it, just play fighting with buddies or whatever when you're younger. And then somebody goes a little too hard and then it becomes a real fist fight.
It's usually a shot to the nuts.
Yeah, it's something, whether it's on purpose or not. But I could imagine this situation where you hit the guy in a certain way that just pisses him off, and then the villain for hire kicks your ass in front of your girlfriend.
Right. I want my money back. Shazali says that he made this decision to be a villain for hire to capitalize on his intimidating physical appearance. Now, I saw a couple pictures of Shazali. The story doesn't mention his height or weight, but the pictures I saw, I mean, I wouldn't call them intimidating. He's got a long hairdo. He looks kind of like the guy you'd see at a hard rock show. Nothing worse than that. But maybe he's 6'10". I have no idea.
He looks kind of short. And I don't know, it's tough to find a guy, and you know, I used to enjoy this franchise, but it's tough to find a guy in a Star Wars T-shirt intimidating.
He is wearing a Stormtrooper T-shirt in one of the photos. Right.
He looks more kind of dirtball nerdy than anything.
Nerdy.
Yeah, definitely.
Like he maybe is involved in LARPing, and maybe he plays in a Rush tribute band. But anyway, maybe he's this massive member of the Heenan family. We don't know his height or his weight. He says, if you give him a few bucks in trade, he'll allow his, quote, clients to be heroes by beating his ass in front of folks, specifically their significant others. Just give him the time and the place, and he'll be there. He tossed an ad up on that effing Facebook that says, are you tired of your partner thinking you're weak? For a reasonable fee, I can help you prove them wrong.
If you're interested in this and purchasing his services, it's on 93x.com.
Oh.
Hey, Josh does have a birthday coming up.
I already booked him for this weekend.
Nice.
Yes, a listener, Steve, texted in, kind of like the movie Nacho Libre, although that backfires on Nacho.
Yeah, it does.
What happened in that?
He was trying to impress Encarnacion on a date. Well, they weren't on a date, on a night out together. And if I remember right, he asked his tag team partner, Esteban, to show up and start trouble, and then they do the fake fight so that Nacho looks cool in front of Encarnacion. But instead, two random guys get involved, and they shoved didn't he have to stab one of them in the skull with a cob of corn or something like that?
Yeah.
You didn't see the movie, Josh?
No, I haven't seen it.
It backfires on Nacho.
Encarnacion, Encarnacion, Encarnacion.
They're eating corn on the cob through 90% of the movie.
Yes.
I love corn.
And as a matter of fact, Wapple, I'm sure you remember this. At one point, Nacho's in the ring, readying himself for a match before his opponent has been introduced. And Nacho says to a fan in the stands, he says, "Hey, save me a piece of that corn." I love Nacho Lee. I watch it. I would watch it every. Okay, we don't want to. I do this all the time. I get us on a sidetrack us, and no one knows what the. So back to Shazali, the villain for hire. In his own words, Shazali cited an example of a service he recently provided for a client. He said, when the boyfriend, his client, they were at a bar or something. When the boyfriend, his client, went to the bathroom, I harassed his girlfriend. When the boyfriend returned, he confronted me and ended up looking like a hero. He doesn't go into detail on whether or not his client tuned Shazali up or just told him to go F himself, but it all worked out. He says his services are available to both men and women's, and he's been hired a number of times already by friends and family. And he's cheap, too. Listen to this. $22 on weekdays and a few more bucks on the weekends.
Wow, that's a great deal.
Weekends are more expensive. You know, he's got things going on.
Medical chicken lady, she just said she can see that backfiring.
Oh, God, yes.
There's plenty of scenarios I can imagine, too. I didn't come up with this one, though. The girlfriend, what if she has a villain kink and leaves the boyfriend for the villain?
She likes the bad boys?
Yeah, she's biting her lower lip watching this guy like, oh, man, is that a Stormtrooper T-shirt? Badass.
Now, some social media dorks who have been reading about Shazali are saying the exact same type of thing. They're saying it's only a matter of time before one of his little capers goes sideways, say a third person gets involved that doesn't know it's a setup and everyone gets shot dead.
That'd be my fear.
That's likely coming, but until then, Shazali is having a lot of laughs with his new business. It's all an act, he says, just like the double E, no one gets hurt. I am the only loser.
That's a cool idea, though.
It is. He seems like a hell of a nice guy who's trying to help some folks out.
Can you imagine, though, if something really happens maybe a week later and that boyfriend, he's faced a similar situation. Somebody comes up to carjack them, whatever, and the girlfriend at this point is like, hey, good luck with my man.
Right.
So kicked some ass last week. Get him, honey.
Oh, no.
He's going to kick your ass.
No, that would suck if he had to back this up.
Oh, no.
If he had to do a repeat.
And he pushes her in front of them and just takes off.
Right. Me and a good friend of mine put on a fake fight at a beer party in college, and everybody bought it. It was a brilliant performance. Fake blood and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nobody stepped in.
Well, I mean...
Because like at some of those parties, it's like some guys are just waiting for an excuse.
No one stepped in and joined the fight. We sold it perfectly, fooled everyone, had a great time with it. You never know what kind of effing ridiculous ideas someone might have stuck in their stupid head. It's fascinating. It's frightening. What motivates some people. Take this here 71-year-old Japanese feller as an example. 71 years old, by God. He got himself arrested. The old bastard was responsible for breaking into 63 some odd homes. It was a year-long burglary spree, you might say, stealing everybody's stuff. And his motivation, he wanted to look cool. Well, and I'll explain. But his motivation was he wanted to look cool. Here's a 71-year-old man giving the kind of answer you'd normally get out of a ninth grader. He goes by the name of Kazunori. Kaz, let's just call him Kaz, even though he doesn't deserve a hip nickname. Kaz pretended to live a simple life. He said he was a strawberry farmer. The license plate on his motor vehicle even said, strawberry farmer.
Cute.
Tough to argue that he does it for a living.
Right.
Yeah.
It says it right there, man.
It did. But Kaz never farmed one single strawberry. He was just a derelict criminal. So folks in town started to notice an older cat who was acting like the neighborhood pimp. walking into bars and restaurants, buying rounds and dinner for everyone in the joint. It was showtime. Kaz made sure everybody knew he was the guy buying them drinks and dinner. He was spending piles of Japanese cash, and he was happier than hell to do it, to be the life of the party. Here comes that old-timer. I bet we're going to get some free drinks, and they would. And that's because it wasn't his damn money. He was spending money that he stole from houses all over town, the puke bag that he is. Now, what has Japanese folks really pissed is that Kaz hit a lot of old-timers when he was sneaking into folks' houses, probably because he ain't no kid himself and didn't want to risk a physical confrontation with a younger person. At one point, he stole from a 91-year-old man.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
So he could go out and act like a rock star at the sushi bar and buy drinks left and right. When Kaz was originally arrested, he said he had no memory of doing such things.
Darn, I guess you're off the hook then.
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
Yeah, it's usually a younger man's game. I mean, a mutual friend of ours, he talked to me about a problem he was having. Same thing. He wanted to look cool at the bar, and he was spending an incredible amount of money, and he wanted to stop, but he just liked that feeling of being the guy.
Yeah, can't relate at all.
Now, he did make a lot of money, but he was spending it all at the bar.
I know a guy who had that phase. He went through that phase. He loved the feeling, like you said, of just buying rounds. No one's going home. We're partying all night. It's on me. And this guy barely had a pot to piss in. But he woke up. He woke up after a while because most of us approached him and said, dude, we know what you do for a living. You got to knock this off or you're going to end up on Skid Row.
Anyway, there's a difference, right, between generosity and versus just wanting to be that guy, have that reputation.
Well, now, I'll say in my example, my pal's example, it was generosity. He wasn't trying to put on some fake rock star bit. He loved that to be that guy. He wanted to be that guy. At any rate, this Kaz character, at first he said he didn't remember any of these robberies. Of course, that was nonsense. When the cops got down to the nitty-gritty and asked him, why have you been robbing so many innocent people and then going through with this party vibe, and he just said, quote, I wanted to look cool. Get a grip, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's pretty sad at any age, but I mean, a younger person, you can maybe understand it a little more.
Yeah.
They just haven't figured it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
71.
Grandpa over there buying rounds.
It's not right. All right, how about your typical everyday American jag-off outlaw? That's where we're going next. It's pretty typical stuff. Drugs, leading the police on a dangerous car chase, pure stupidity. The only thing that stands out for this here character was his outfit. Dude dressed in a Dalmatian onesie. And he caused trouble for the cops the other day down there in one of our terrible southern states.
There's video of this on 93x.com.
Video? What's he doing in the video? I only saw still pictures.
It's like the chase.
Oh, so he's in the car?
Yeah.
Oh. A Dalmatian onesie. Are you following that, Josh?
Yeah, I saw the video.
Other than when you were 2, have you ever owned a onesie?
Never once.
I have.
My parents used to give us those footy pajamas.
When you were a tiny little kid?
Yeah, I zipped my penis in there many times.
Nah.
Had to call for a parent to come help me out.
What kind of onesie did you wear, Nick? I had a Elmo onesie. Well, I still have an Elmo onesie.
I'll get back to you on that. I'm going to get back to you on that, Ashley, as soon as I find out more about this Josh zipping his little acorn up in his pajamas. It was your mother that you called to help you, wasn't it?
Well, I said parent this time because in the past I've mentioned mother and I got a lot of crap for it. But yeah, it was always mom.
Where was Dad?
Well, he was there, but he didn't want to be a part of that.
Oh. He didn't want to see your little pecker?
I think he just didn't care.
I get it.
It was my own fault. You know what? The problem is I wanted to get back to doing whatever I was doing.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in such a hurry I just zip that thing right up.
Look, I'm watching the Muppet Show here.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. Commercials are going to end any second. I got to get back to the TV.
Can you get my pee-pee out of my zipper before the John Denver is hosting the Muppet Show tonight.
Yeah.
Your mother.
Mom, yeah, she several times.
And you didn't feel weird about it then?
No, I mean, I was real little.
Several times. Why did you have so much trouble zipping yourself up?
It takes me a while to learn a lesson.
Because I wore sure, we all wore the footy pajamas with the zip up in the front. I don't ever remember getting my tallywhacker involved.
Actually, it was really more balls than tallywhacker.
Oh, no. All balls.
Yeah, mostly.
To quote one of my buddies from the strip joint years ago, all balls. Ashley, the other than when I was 2, one night I wore a Minnesota Wild onesie just around the house. I think they sent us a gift package years ago, the Man Bear Pigs. Hats and hoodies and whatnot, and one of the items was a onesie for an adult. And I brought it home, and I thought, I wonder if this would be comfortable to wear around the house and watch a game and have a couple beers. So I put it on, and I watched, I don't know, maybe 8-10 minutes of the game, and I felt like such an absolute jackass that I took it off and I threw it in the garbage. I couldn't walk around as an adult in that outfit.
Yeah, I don't think I could either.
But you looked adorable as Kermit. What did you say it was?
Elmo. And it was really nice, like wearing it out of the house because I was always cozy. I didn't have to worry about getting like beer belly or anything because it was all just like loose clothing. But you
wore it other than here to work?
Yeah, yep. I wore it to like a costume dinner that night.
Oh.
And then the only downside was when you have to use the bathroom because I had to get completely undressed.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I felt ridiculous.
What's the woman? Is it rompers?
Yeah, rompers or bodysuits too.
Yeah, I remember hearing about rompers for the first time, and I thought, well, what a design flaw that is. You have to get completely naked to pee?
I've definitely been pretty tuned up before and just like held the romper to the side a little bit.
How was your accuracy?
Pretty good.
Urinating through the leg opening of your romper.
Yeah, you got to be careful, though, Dana. Really careful.
I'll bet.
You have to be able to aim.
Yep.
So you wish that your Elmo onesie would have had the union suit ass flap.
Yeah, that'd be clutch, yeah.
The closest I've ever come to that is, and Nick, you were there. We were at a Halloween broadcast, and I dressed as a stormtrooper, mostly to annoy Nick, and I rented a costume that looked like it could have been in the movie.
Oh, you absolutely looked like you could have been in the movies.
But the first time I had to pee, I realized, oh no, I got to take everything off. You can't just remove a cod piece to get at it or anything.
That sucks.
When Deadpool and Wolverine came out this summer,
never saw it.
There was a guy at the movie theater in a full-blown yellow and blue Wolverine costume. He looked just like he had played the part, and he had the big claws on. And I noticed the guy in the bathroom. That's where I first saw him. And he's kind of looking down at his claws, looking down at his pants, looking around like, oh, I didn't think this thing through, did I? Because he's got those claws like 6 inches long, and he's trying like to unzip the suit a little bit. It looked like a miserable time.
He didn't realize you could just take them off?
I don't know. But he looked very confused. Like, what do I do?
What am I going to do with these gloves?
Yeah. These gloves are in the way. What could I possibly do?
Is there anything someone can help me with?
Josh, a listener wants to know when you were over and over again getting your wad caught in the zipper of your onesie as a 3-year-old kid, did you ever get the beans above the frank?
Yeah, it was mostly beans. Yeah, sometimes they would be in an order that didn't make any sense.
So here's this guy running.
It happened to my brother and sister, too. They always got theirs caught in there and have to call for mom.
Sister, huh? Odd.
Yeah, her penis would get stuck. You guys are dumb.
I understood every word that you said. Back to this guy running wild, leading the cops on a police chase. He's dressed in a Dalmatian onesie. Like I said, typical everyday American jag-off outlaw stuff. Just the one difference is the way the man was dressed. There's no explanation here in the story as to why he's a grown man in a dog outfit. Here's the rundown on this trip.
I looked up probably 12 stories on this, thinking, well, somebody's got to mention why he was in this Dalmatian.
No one explained.
They just completely ignored that.
It's silly.
Outside of saying he was in it and showing the pictures, they didn't say at all. Nobody even said no word on why he was in it. It's like they forgot.
Right. That's irresponsible journalism.
I agree. No wonder people don't trust the media.
Devereaux is the name. It's a hell of a deal, so get ready. Here we go. Here's everything that he did while dressed as a dog. Speeding. Cops got on his ass for that, right? They're chasing him. Then it turns into fleeing. He dropped off a passenger. Okay, this is actually quite original. I almost forgot about this. Whilst involved in a police chase, he dropped a passenger off somewhere. Interesting to me. Like the passenger says, hey, dude, I know we're in the middle of a police chase and dressed as a dog, but I still need a ride home. You know what I mean? Like they had a prior agreement. He drops somebody off. He makes a U-turn. He continues to flee. He crashed into a tree. He takes off on foot, dressed as a dog. He got tased. He fought with cops. He got tased again. He pushed a cop and ran with one handcuff on, still dressed as a dog. He disappeared into a nearby wood line. This is exhausting. The cops go to his girlfriend's house. His girlfriend says she doesn't want the cops in her house because she has drugs in there and doesn't want to go to jail. Devereaux was in there hiding. He was severely beaten, like a dog, you might say, and taken into custody. He had meth rocks in a fanny pack or something, all the while dressed as a Dalmatian. I like the part where the cops are, hey, is the bad guy in there? Who are you? Well, it's the cops. Well, I don't want to let the cops in here because I have drugs in the house, and I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, fair enough.
Bad timing, Jesus asked me, aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper? Nice reference.
Well played.
Somebody else said that guy didn't take off on foot. He took off on paw. You're right.
There you go.
Great.
Oh, where am I now? China? Oh, that's just great. We're in China. Anyone here have any problems with arthritis?
No,
thankfully
not.
I mean, every once in a while, like my knuckles will be a little painful, but I don't know if it's arthritis or
That's from
just
something else.
getting old.
Holler at me if you do. There's a zoo over there in China that will sell you a bucket of real live tiger piss. And they say it's a spot-on treatment for arthritis.
How in the world do they collect that?
Well, I'll tell you. The zoo claims what you do is you mix the tiger squeege with white wine, and then you slather it all over what they call here the affected area, wherever you're feeling a little bit arthritic. Or you can just go ahead and drink it.
How much money would it take you guys to drink some tiger pee?
$1 million.
Really?
Yes.
I would do it for $50,000.
Nothing less than $1 million, Josh.
I'd take a sip just for the story.
Yeah, honestly, maybe just a couple grand.
I mean, remember
$1 million.
Remember when Charlie Sheen was with all the tiger blood and stuff like that?
I sure do.
It seemed like a pretty cool point in his life. So maybe I'd give a sip.
Medicinal tiger urine, they call it, at that zoo I was telling you about. You can spread it on your... Who would choose to drink it? Because, again, there are two options. You just kind of rub it on your arthritis, or you drink tiger whiz. Who the hell chooses to?
Psychopaths.
It'll squash your arthritis problems. It will help with any sprains or muscle pain, according to these goofy bastards at the zoo. Ashley, you wanted details on how to collect it. It's pretty simple. The zoo folks just place a bucket under a urinating tiger.
They can really go, too, by the way.
Oh, no, Josh.
What?
Experts have criticized the zoo for promoting unverified remedies.
Oh, experts, eh?
A pharmacist in China says that Tiger Whiz is just that, Tiger Whiz, and it won't do a damn thing other than stink up the whole house.
I bet that guy just wants to keep all the Tiger Whiz to himself.
I'd have a big glass of orange juice with just a splash of tiger pee. Give it a shot. Maybe it would make me, more appealing. I don't know.
Maybe it will increase your libido.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something?
Prom night every night.
What got onto you? Oh, Tiger Pee.
A little bit of OJ?
Yeah, a couple of sips of Tiger Pee.
Now, some of you are already aware that Saskatoon is a town up there in Canada, in the province of Saskatchewan. And if you weren't aware, now you know. A feller by the name of Sonny James put together a terrific song called A Little Bit South of Saskatoon. That song ended up on the Slapshot soundtrack back in 1977. Catchy song, if you ever get a chance to listen to it. A little bit south of Saskatoon. Here's the deal in Saskatoon. They're having problems with gangs, which is somewhat surprising to me. It's too cold up there to be pulling drive-bys. I don't know about you, Josh, but I'm not rolling down the window to shoot a rival gang member on a sidewalk when it's 35 below. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens here.
Problems with gangs.
They seem too nice for that, or maybe that's all BS.
I don't know. Never been to Saskatoon. But there is a song. They had an event all set to cut loose in Saskatoon. And the event was called Learning About Gangs. But it was canceled because there were threats of potential violence. Well, balls. So they had to call it off without teaching anybody about what these street gangs are capable of. Now it's anybody's guess.
The fear of gangs. Shut that down.
I guess you had to be there for some of us, huh?
HVAC/R and stuff. Jesus said his nickname is Tiger, and he wants to know, do you want it straight from the cup or straight from the hose?
Oh, how'd you get that nickname?
You know what? Chef's choice. Chef's choice.
They had this whole event planned where they were going to learn about gangs, but then some threats were made, and they had to shut it smooth down. So it says here, instead of the event, the Learning About Gangs seminar, the organizers just showed a Bret Hart documentary.
Oh, that's good.
Romp and Stomp.
And it was a sellout, Josh.
Oh, I imagine. Romp and Stomp and Tiger Piss Jesus said, you got to be pretty talented to make gang signs with your mittens on. Or to be able to interpret them. I mean, on both sides, you got to be pretty good at this.
I'll be damned. That's funny.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Edwards with a ridiculous stat line tonight. More on that in a moment. Conley for three. Cash! Slamming the door shut.
Boy, Edwards was fired up last night. A lot of cussing, swearing at the officials, the crowd, his teammates.
I love it.
He gets hyped.
He does get hyped.
I like it too, Ash.
Timberwolves got a win last night. I can't wait to tell you more about this game last night when Randy Shaver jumps into the mix. Volatile game last night. Couple members of the Wolves getting thrown smooth out the game. I love it. I love a good rivalry. It seems like the Suns and Timberwolves have that going 100% right now, so it was fun last night. Bring it, he says. I mean, they might need to really take the microphones. You know how they put microphones up on the backboard and whatnot? Mm-hmm. So you can, I think it's to hear the
squeaks.
The squeaks and the swish.
Yeah,
of the
swish, yep.
But the way these guys cuss at each other at the free throw line is unbelievable. They're going to have to take it away. There was a couple moments last night where you heard everything. F this, F off, F me, F you, mother F. That's what makes it fun.
I would love if you could pay extra to hear more of that. They could all be mic'd up, and you have to have you have to be 21 and older or something to hear it.
You have a different plan.
Yeah.
They mute the announcers. You're just listening to players swear at each other all night.
In the what do they call it in the business in the National Basketball Association? Not the dugout, on the bench. Just hearing the way they talk to each other.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I would love to pay for a trash talk. I mean, because I always wonder too, in football and stuff like that, when they're all everybody's on top of each other, or when you see people obviously yelling at each other, I'd love to know what they're saying.
It's practice. Don't be fooled. Those guys practice that stuff.
Oh, for sure.
They practice that stuff.
They look in the mirror.
Pigs got a win last night. Yeah, they're in the mirror with no shirt on. Bitch. Okay, no, I used that one last week. Mother effer.
Biatch. Maybe just they changed their delivery a little
Biznitch. Sure. Pigs got a win last night, too, in Toronto. which is a little bit south of Saskatoon. It really isn't, but I just wanted to sing the song again. Randy Shaver will be here in a half hour. Josh's News is coming up next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back on the Give Them Lala podcast.
No, I have a very short fuse.
Get to know the TV personality.
I don't need to watch the show because I get the real life version.
From relationships and motherhood.
Let me tell you something about breastfeeding.
To business and beyond.
You are scared of failure, so it prevents you from trying. This is where we implement a big set of ovaries, and then we obsess.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
We are coming on the air with breaking news out of Washington. The FAA confirming an American Airlines regional jet has collided with a Black Hawk helicopter near Reagan National Airport. This happened just over an hour ago. Emergency officials say they're coordinating a search and rescue operation in the Potomac River.
A terrible tragedy occurred last night, and a massive search operation is underway after a mid-air collision between a passenger aircraft and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter on a training flight near Reagan National Airport just outside Washington, D.C.
We didn't think much of it. We thought they were like shooting stars. I don't know. I couldn't really explain it, but we didn't really think much of it until we saw the fire trucks start going out to the tarmac and the police cars and the police boats. It was insane. It was really insane.
The collision sent both aircraft, the American Airlines regional flight carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members, and the military helicopter with 3 soldiers on board, plunging into the freezing Potomac River. The crash shut down federal offices in Washington and caused widespread power outages across 6 states. The FAA confirmed the collision occurred at approximately 8:50 p.m. Eastern. The American Eagle flight had departed Wichita, Kansas earlier in the evening and was on approach to a runway when it split in two upon impact. The Army later confirmed the second aircraft was a Black Hawk helicopter. Just 30 seconds before the crash, air traffic control tried desperately to make the military helicopter aware of the impending collision.
A controller is heard asking the helicopter, quoting here, Pat 25, do you have the CRJ in sight? In reference, of course, to the passenger aircraft. Tower, did you see that? Another pilot is heard calling seconds after the apparent collision. The tower immediately began diverting other aircraft from Reagan. So it appears there was some concern going in as to whether the Black Hawk helicopter had seen or could see this plane that was clearly on final approach.
Among the passengers were American figure skating athletes, coaches, and family members returning from a development camp in Wichita. Approximately 300 first responders are involved in the frantic search for victims.
It's a highly complex operation. The conditions out there are extremely rough.
Certainly we're crushed in spirit tonight. We mourn with the families who lost loved ones, and thank you for your thoughts and your prayers.
So far, at least a dozen bodies have been recovered, but officials fear there may be no survivors. Late last night, a senior FBI official stated there was no indication of any criminality or terrorism related to this crash.
That's absolutely horrible news, Josh.
Terribly awful.
A couple listeners have texted in to say, you know, the video is so bad, and did you see the video? I don't know how you can watch those types of videos.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
A Georgia elementary school principal found herself in the spotlight, but not for any Principal of the Year awards. Quite the opposite. The principal Letitia Crosby, who leads Thomas Crossroads Elementary School, is facing felony shoplifting charges after a Kohl's run that went off the syllabus. According to deputies, Crosby was caught on surveillance video treating herself to a cartload of T-shirts, sweaters, a dress, jewelry, and gift bags, a haul valued at about $917 before waltzing out the door without paying. Police say this wasn't Crosby's first unsanctioned shopping spree either. A store employee claims she had a previous incident where she tried to boost nearly $300 worth of goods, but that time, when she was stopped, they didn't call authorities. They let her off with a warning she clearly didn't take to heart. The case has now been turned over to the district attorney's office for prosecution. Oh, how embarrassing.
Yeah, certainly. That reminds me of a few years ago when I was at a Walmart and I was in the hooded sweatshirt department. You ever swing by over there, Josh?
It's all I wear.
Yeah, I was looking at hoodies, and there was a couple also in the same department. And I overheard the male say to the female, "Hey, keep an eye out." And the female said, "Why, what's up?" He had a hoodie in his hand, and he said, "I'm going to steal this." I just kind of did the...
Nothing to see here.
Not your business.
And he did, I guess. I don't know. I walked the hell out of there.
In what might be the wildest way to enforce a no-smoking policy, a 64-year-old Ohio dad decided to settle a heated argument with his 24-year-old daughter by reaching for something way more dramatic than an ashtray, his gun. The dispute, which neighbors said started about smoking in the house, ended with Franklin Thompson turning his suburban Cincinnati home into the least welcoming Airbnb ever. Around 1 a.m., he reportedly shot his daughter, leaving the entire neighborhood baffled because, as one neighbor put it, he's always been a real nice guy.
Did you ever hear any yelling or any kind of acrimony over there?
No yelling.
Just seemed like a normal father and two daughters living together.
It's like a normal family over there, man.
Prosecutors, however, painted a slightly less rosy picture, noting that Thompson not only admitted to the shooting, but apparently expressed zero remorse during his police interview. As for who was smoking, that part's still unclear. Court records reveal he's had a few brushes with the law, minor traffic violations, a trespassing arrest in 2023, and a 2003 charge for stealing cable.
Stealing cable?
Yeah. Ooh, monster.
So he shot one of his own damn kids.
Yeah, some sort of argument over smoking in the house there.
Acrimony was a word that was used in there as well.
There was some acrimony.
That's impressive.
A 19-year-old healthcare worker in Georgia has managed to become TikTok famous for the wrong reasons, dancing provocatively on top of a disabled person's head.
Oh my gosh. What were you thinking?
What did you just say?
Come on. Lucretia Coyen, who probably won't be posting any new videos for a while, is facing a charge of exploiting a disabled person after a now-deleted TikTok video featured her in full scrubs and a stethoscope twerking on a disabled person's head face.
What in the living hell?
And now, instead of likes and comments, she's racking up felony charges. According to police, reports suggest she also may have filmed a similar video featuring a man in a bathtub. Chief Dick Lowry had some choice words.
Dick Lowry?
Dick Lowry,
yeah.
About the whole ordeal. When I watched it, disgusted is the only word I know, Lowry said. She won't be able to dance her way out of trouble this time. She's currently cooling her heels in the Walton County Jail while investigators continue looking into that case.
Just knocking some poor bastard upside the head with her ass cheeks.
How disrespectful. I don't like that lady.
We're in trouble, Josh. Big trouble.
Yeah, how do you do something like that? Much less post it? How dumb are you?
Mm-hmm.
A 50-year-old Detroit priest known for... Hold on a second. Hey, Siri, how dumb is she? Definitely dumb. Siri told me definitely dumb. A 50-year-old Detroit priest known for hosting an exorcism podcast is facing a misdemeanor battery charge stemming from an unsettling encounter with a 13-year-old girl during a November church event in Joliet, Illinois. Nothing sexual, but very, very strange. Father Carlos Martins was arrested Monday after an alleged incident where the priest approached a young girl while she was waiting in line to view a religious relic at a church. He reportedly commented on her hair before plucking a strand and pretending to use it as floss.
Oh, what in the world?
Following the sign of the floss, the girl sat down. The creepy priest took a seat behind her and then began snarling and growling for some reason.
This dude needs an exorcist.
Detectives presented their report to the priest's moral hygiene to the state's attorney, who approved the charge of misdemeanor battery. After his brush with the law, the Archdiocese of Detroit has since listed Martin's status as temporarily removed.
That poor kid. I can't imagine having to explain that to somebody, like to an adult. Yeah, he plucked my hair and then used it as floss and then grunted like an animal. I would think that they would immediately think I was lying.
This guy's different.
Well, he admitted it, but he said, no, you got it all wrong. I didn't actually floss. I pretended to floss.
Oh, thank God.
And I was just trying to bond with the young people.
He's got himself an exorcism podcast, huh?
He sure does. A New Jersey cop is accused of abusing police resources to track down a local mom's address to show up at her house and ask her out. Joshua James, a 29-year-old officer with the Neptune Township Police Department, apparently got way too inspired during his shift at a local elementary school. While working at the school on January 10th, he reportedly noticed a 28-year-old MILF picking up her child and decided he needed to shoot his shot.
Wah, wah, wee, wah, he was thinking, huh? Yeah.
Authorities say James used 2 national law enforcement databases designed for catching criminals not catching dates to track down her home address. Still in uniform, he drove his patrol car to her house and tried to put the moves on her. The mom, creeped out, reported the officer's behavior, leading to a suspension and arrest for 2 counts of third-degree computer-related criminal activity. Law enforcement officials there made it clear that such databases are strictly for professional use, not to get laid.
Tempting, though. Wouldn't it be? If you had that information at the ready?
I could see maybe going, she's really going to be into me.
Man, you got to be pretty confident in yourself. You got to have some Gosling-like looks if you're going to roll the dice like that.
Yeah, it didn't work for him. He must not have those looks. This is, I'd imagine, especially you, Nick, is going to frustrate you as much as it did me.
Uh-oh.
Once you listen to some of the audio here. And I took a lot of it out. If you listen to the whole thing, you're going to drive to this guy's house and punch him in the wiener.
I'm prepared to be pissed off.
What started as a routine traffic stop in Longview, Texas, quickly spiraled into absurdity when a dickhead driver launched into a profanity-laden tirade against an officer who pulled him over for speeding. Trenton Futrell had been driving 10 miles over the speed limit when a Longview police officer initiated the stop. The man pulled into his driveway, but instead of cooperating, he immediately confronted the officer about blocking his driveway because his wife was coming home.
Uh-huh.
Then things escalated when the man mistakenly handed over a credit card instead of his license.
Is that a reasonable thing for you to do, to block the road?
You have your driver's license?
Do you see me with my fucking driver's license?
That's
Do you not?
card.
Oh, it's a credit card. Well, you got fucking eyes so you can see yourself on the fucking road, can't you?
Calm down, sir.
You're standing on my goddamn property. I do whatever the fuck I want here, son.
All right. As the situation was obviously out of control, the most patient officer in the world called for backup. Meanwhile, the enraged driver finally produced his license, but refused to hand it over.
Right here.
Okay,
you ain't touching a goddamn thing of mine, boy. The f*** you do. Take it from me then, boy, if you that f***ing badass about it.
Sir, what is your problem?
Then.
Sir, this could all be over.
Oh, it could be. You f***ing right, it could be. Here's my f***ing driver's license. You ain't f***ing handing it to you. F*** you. You ain't handing you shit, boy.
Yeah. Oh, somebody just needs to hit that guy very hard in the face.
It didn't get any better when the officer asked for proof of insurance.
Right here, bitch. Figure it the f*** out, you f***ing bald-headed little bitch. Figure it the f*** out.
Okay, just calm down, sir.
You f***ing calm down. Get the f*** out of here.
The situation hit a disturbing low when the man hurled a deeply offensive and awfully strange insult at the officer, getting inches from the cop's face.
You must rape a lot of f***ing women, boy, because you don't know what the f*** no means. Do you, boy?
What's your driver's license?
Shut the f*** up.
What?
Dude.
You cannot just throw things like that around.
You know what? All that's coming to mind right now is that line from Full Metal Jacket where the drill sergeant says, "Why are you not stomping Private Pyle's guts out?" That's what comes to mind. Why isn't this cop choking this man unconscious right now?
As I said, the most patient cop. The most patient human being on the face of the planet.
Without question. Who the hell does this guy think he is?
So you just heard little clips there, right?
Yeah.
The longest being 16 seconds. I watched the entire video, and my head was going to explode. I wanted to, like, somehow possess the cop and punch the guy in the face.
I understand completely. So this dildo who's shouting like a child, he had a lot of wind. He kept going and going and going.
Yeah, and it was immediate. There wasn't like an escalation. It was instantaneous. Backup officers arrived, and although he was only going to be getting a speeding ticket, his mouth and asinine actions earned him a seat in the back of the squad, and even in handcuffs he couldn't shut up. As officers load him into the car, he had more stupid stuff to say, so finally they took him to jail.
What is the problem, you entitled douchebag?
The cop even said, I might not even have given him the speeding ticket. I was just going to let him know, hey, you got to slow down through here.
Every time I was like, all right, that's pretty bad. It can't get much worse. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah, and there's even worse stuff in there.
I was watching it, too, yesterday, and the dog got up off the couch and left the room, and I was like, I don't blame you, dude. This guy's
enough of it.
Private Joker. What is Private Pile doing in my head? Why are you not stomping Private Pile's guts out?
2 people have been arrested in connection with grave crimes targeting cemeteries across several northern Iowa counties. The thefts, which involve missing markers and other stolen items, first came to light about a month ago. Reports have been piling up from both rural and city cemeteries, leaving residents with grave concerns.
You dick.
I even thought about not putting that in there. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office believed they stole bronze memorial plaques from boulders, historical sites, and veterans' gravestones. Nice. In at least 6 cemeteries in their county. And similar plaques were also reported stolen in several cemeteries in surrounding counties as well.
Pretty disgusting crime. We can't even believe it happened here. It's just really unfortunate.
The final nail in the coffin for the grave robbers came in the form of 2 search warrants executed Friday, where officials uncovered critical evidence and identified at least 2 additional suspects tied to the case. About 40 plaques were stolen, each worth between $700 and $800.
Let me guess, they needed meth money or something?
They kind of look like that's probably where they're going to put that money.
Jesus, criminy.
A 42-year-old Missouri woman will spend a decade behind bars for shooting her husband of 9 years as he slept because she couldn't afford a divorce. Officers with the Kansas City Police Department responded to a reported shooting and found the wife, Melanie Biggins, Giggity, who initially told police she woke up to the sound of a gunshot and found her husband shot. But she didn't see who did it, she claimed. She said she discovered the front door was open when she went downstairs, but investigators quickly ruled out signs of an intruder. In a second interview, Biggins Giggity admitted she wanted to leave her husband for another man. She'd been in an intimate relationship with another man for 1.5 years and wanted to divorce the victim, but said due to financial struggles, quote, divorce wasn't an option.
Well, I'll tell you what, this can prove to be valuable for every married man in our listening audience. Every night from here on out, before you go to bed, leave divorce money on the counter.
Smart. A dispute over loud music turned violent early Sunday morning in a Queens home where a 16-year-old boy stabbed his family's tenant during a heated confrontation over the loud music. The altercation erupted just after 6 a.m. inside the multifamily house as the teenager and the 24-year-old tenant clashed over blaring music and loud banging. Tensions escalated, culminating in the teen pulling a knife and got all crabby and stabby. Police noted the young suspect has no prior arrests and that investigation is ongoing. I had a friend who once had to call a noise complaint in on his own house. He lived with a few guys. They were partying. He had to get up early. Nobody else was really working. He asked them over and over, please, guys, I have to get up in a couple hours.
College age type situation.
Yeah.
Where your roommates won't shut the hell up.
And finally he said, I had nothing else to do, so I called the landlord. Yeah, I'd like to report a noise complaint.
It's pretty smart.
That, a dire situation sometimes calls for radical action, whatever that slogan is. Josh, I'm having so much fun looking at our text messages this morning because ever since you played that loud, childlike dildo idiot who was screaming at the cop, all of our listeners are saying they're so mad right now they can't stand it.
I felt the same way, and I thought of you instantaneously. I hope he took his heart medication because, watch the video. Maybe don't watch. You got it. You got the gist.
I don't think I could get through it.
Because it doesn't stop.
Without choking myself unconscious.
And it's 8 minutes long, too.
That cop deserves an award.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, the fact that anybody could put up with that, and he was so polite, and he handled it so well, and even through a lot of it, he wasn't going to take the guy to jail.
I would have batoned that individual until I was absolutely exhausted. They would have had to pull me off of him. But it's almost as if, Josh, you've made all of our listeners mad with that story, and they're enjoying the hell out of it.
Well, that's one of those, right? Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're thriving. That's not the word. They're go ahead.
It's one of those deals where you hope they bring him to the part of the police station that has that, that well-known slippery staircase.
Yeah.
It's like it's 4 stories high. He just kept falling and falling and falling. Nothing we can do. Some people are really stupid. This is a glaring example of ignorance paired with a disturbing display of humanity at its worst. A Florida teenager has been arrested for getting other gamers to help him achieve a higher rank on his favorite video game by accepting their requests to trade child porn for help boosting that rank. The investigation began when police were alerted to multiple photos uploaded to Discord. After speaking with his parents, they confirmed the troubled teen was the sole user of that account. When confronted, he admitted to downloading and sharing the material after other users promised to boost his in-game rank in return. While his video game rank may have gone up, it came at a steep cost. He now faces 4 counts of possessing child porn, 1 count of using a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony. Further charges could be added pending the results of a forensic analysis of his cell phone.
Son of a bitch.
Those poor parents.
He's not going to be playing for a while.
No. What a dumbass. I mean, the cops were saying they don't think he was using this for his own disgusting purposes. He was just that dumb.
Dang.
Man,
hard to believe.
Yeah, it is hard to believe.
Just so terrible, it's hard to believe.
You're cordially invited. A new comedy film starring Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon is now streaming on Prime Video. A meticulous woman planning her sister's dream wedding and an over-the-top father organizing his daughter's big day arrive at a remote resort only to discover their destination weddings have been double booked. Then a young lawyer and the CIA finds himself entangled in perilous international power struggles when a former asset threatens to expose classified agency secrets in Season 2 of The Recruit, which began streaming today on Netflix.
Oh, I love that show.
Then tonight on ESPN, the 2025 Pro Bowl Games Skills Showdown.
Oh, yes!
Yes!
Come on! Let's
TV.
Woo! Private, what did you call Pro Bowl? Skills Showdown.
Pro Bowl Skills Showdown.
Christian Bale is 51. Gene Hackman, 95. Congrats to Spam Town Bricklayer Jesus, who's officially a year clean and sober for the first time ever. That's awesome. Dry Ice Jesus would like to wish his wonderful wife, Aussie Mama Jesus, a happy 53rd. One of my favorite people has a birthday today. You know the name, Lindahl. Corey Lindahl, the brother of a local realtor.
Nice.
That's Corey with a K. Corey Lindahl, happy birthday to you, bro.
Happy birthday, dude.
We love spending time with that guy. He comes to a lot of 93X events.
I like Chris better.
Knows everything about nothing, Jesus. Texting a happy birthday to his twin boys, Senior Airman Sabatino and Giovanni, turning 26 today. Looking forward to heading they're going up to the cabin for some ice fishing this weekend. So. Little family time. Happy birthday, boys. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
He beat us. He hammered us with his arm. He ran when he needed to, and we did not handle it well.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Chris Finch has been ejected from the ballgame. C.J. Washington had heard enough.
Tell you what, we'll get into Finchy. We'll talk all about Finchy's behavior a little bit later on. First, checking in live from Florida, where he's now a permanent resident. It's Randy Shaver.
Good morning.
Good morning, Randy. How was the effing fun park, Grandpa?
Peppa Pig turned out to be a very fun day. We had a great time.
You were nice enough to send us a picture or two, and it looked like you guys were having a blast.
My granddaughter was just complete and utter astonishment. She had so much fun. So
that's awesome.
It was great.
Peppa Pig Land down there in Florida saw the whole Shaver clan running around raising hell yesterday while Randy and his wife are on vacation in Florida. Now, was there any vomiting? A lot of little kids vomit when they're at the fun park.
Yeah. Too much cotton candy and
the excitement and the food and the rides and the...
I didn't see any.
No?
I didn't see any. I'm sure there was some happening somewhere. The park is fairly big, but I did not witness it.
Did you come close to vomiting at any point?
No, actually.
That's good.
No.
That's good. I'll tell you what, easily the most vomit I ever produced in one sitting was at the circus. I think that counts, doesn't it?
Really?
Yeah, it's
We're
close
talking about
enough.
kids get sick at the fun part. I think the circus is close enough. Easily the most vomit I've ever produced in one push was when I was a tiny little kid and our folks drug us off to the circus. I don't remember what got me sick, but I remember the push. I remember that moment of truth. I absolutely soaked the couple that was sitting in front of us.
Oh, no.
So much cotton candy and popcorn, all that good stuff.
It could have been. I don't remember that. I just remember a couple of elephants, a couple of clowns, and then ba-pow, and it was unbelievable.
Maybe it was the smell.
Could have been.
That does it for some people.
Could have been. Yeah. Oh,
That's a trigger.
Animal feces. I don't know. Boy, my parents they were furious. I embarrassed them so badly at the
Not at the circus.
At the circus, I did. And the weather is nice in Florida, Randy.
Everything is great. It's going to be another 75-degree day today. So yeah, everything's good.
Now things are nice up here in Minnesota. I understand possibly today we're going to see a record high.
Yeah. Either real close or we're going to see it. The record is 48.
The record, all-time record is 48. We're supposed to possibly clear that today. Randy, you'd be interested in such a thing. There are a couple of golf courses that have been open. Southern part of the state, they were open a couple days ago for this and that, and they're opening again today because of the what's the word in the meteorological? Because of the forecast.
I thought about making the trip, but none of my buddies were down for it. But I do have a friend that is playing. Pretty sure he's going to be playing in a scramble tomorrow down south in Montgomery.
You were planning on going all the way down to Montgomery to go golfing on a friggin' school night?
I thought about it. The tee time was late,
again.
Though. The tee time was late. The only one they had left was for 4 p.m. So.
Yeah, one of them is a joint.
Wow, wait a minute. Doesn't it get dark at like 5:30?
Yeah, I think, I imagine you wouldn't be able to get all 18 in, but it'd be nice to just be out there.
One of the joints is called Oak Summit Golf Club in Rochester. Ashley mentioned Montgomery National Golf Club. And what I'm reading here says, if the weather continues to stay nice, they'll consider staying open a day or two more. But I think this is we're hitting the pinnacle here today, and then things are going to get normal. But we're not in any real trouble up here in Minnesota weather-wise. We're doing okay, Randy.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like last winter, right? Last winter we had that incredibly mild winter.
Best winter ever.
Yeah, the temperatures were decent. We didn't get a lot of snow at all.
Oh, no.
And it was pleasant.
I loved last winter. I loved every minute of it. Now, a couple of my buddies who plow snow for a living, they look at it a little differently.
Sure they do.
But they knew the risks.
Love snow activities, yeah.
I told them, I yelled right in their faces at the bar. I said, you knew the risks. Getting into a business like that. But, yeah, they were down in the dumps, those fellas. All right, Randy, what else is going on here? Timberwolves came up with a really nice win last night.
Yeah.
Winning at the Phoenix Suns.
Finchie got, I was reading that Finchie got mad in the morning, kind of chewed him in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And then got ejected in the game. I saw the ejection. I'm not sure what led up to the first technical, but the second technical, he must have said something pretty specific.
I'll tell you all about
it. The ref to drop the basketball and then give him a tee.
There's some video of him getting ejected on 93x.com.
I loved it. This was so much fun to watch. It was Chris Finch's first career ejection as a head coach. We'll get to that in just a minute. But a big road win against a club that's right there in the standings with the Wolves. Anthony Edwards, 33 points. He was terrific. He started off terribly. At one point, he turned the ball over 4 possessions in a row. He made up for that in a big way. 33 points. It was 121-113. So that's 4 wins in a row. That matches their longest winning streak of the season. And like we were just discussing, there was some extracurricular fun in last night's ball game. Chris Finch got ejected. Jaden McDaniels was also thrown out the ball game just before the final buzzer for fingering the skull of Suns player Devin Booker. That was also a hell of a lot of fun. The Wolves and Suns really don't care for each other, especially McDaniels and Booker. You can tell by the look on McDaniels' face that everything Booker says and does just makes him sick to his stomach. And that's a beautiful thing.
From the couple of games I've watched, I mostly watched last year, the playoffs, Jaden McDaniels doesn't seem like the type to, I guess, get aggressive like this. He seems like the type to just let it go, or is that not the case?
He's always like this.
Oh, really? I like him even more now.
I disagree with that.
Oh, what? You disagree with what?
I disagree. I think he gets up. I think he gets very intense.
Oh yeah, you're disagreeing with Ashley.
I mean, his job is to guard the best offensive player on the other team. Now, for Phoenix, that can be Durant, it can be Booker. It just depends. But he and Booker have a rivalry, or there's something personal between those two guys.
McDaniels hates Devin
and
Booker.
I think he just takes pleasure in and maybe it goes back to college or something. I don't know. He just takes great pleasure in shutting down Booker on the defensive end.
If you missed it, late in the ball game, Booker's talking some nonsense to the Wolves. McDaniel strolls up and more or less poked Booker right in his mind. He took his index finger and kind of drove it into the temple of Devin Booker. God, it was so much fun to watch.
I'm watching the video right now, and I think my favorite part is the big smile that Anthony Edwards has on his face.
Yeah. Well, Phoenix, I mean, the Wolves didn't play great all night. I mean,
not in the first half.
Kind of a sluggish game for them. Yep. And so Phoenix kind of let them hang around, basically. And when you do that, with Edwards, and Randall had a good night offensively last night too. They've got a chance to those games just based on the fact that they're good offensively.
Randy, your little microphone is acting up. You're dropping in and out.
Oh, I think it's probably just the internet.
Oh, the friggin' internet. All right, well, maybe turn it off and turn it back on again or something, because now you sound like you're a cyborg or something like that. All right. Turn it on, turn it back off. So if you missed the Finch thing, too, that was fun. And Ashley, you said that's up on our website?
Yep.
Finch is complaining to a ref on the sideline as Bradley Beal of the Suns was about to inbounds the basketball. And it looked to me like Finch mumbled something to Beal about the referee. Like he said to Beal, boy, is this guy a jag-off, or something like that. And the referee heard it and tossed Finchy. That's what it looked like to me, like he was confiding in Beal in what a dork this referee was being. And Finch was pissed when he got tossed. He called the ref an effing piece of shh. And I think he said something like, I'll get you for this, or something. I mean, he was friggin' pissed. But so the whole game was fun. I love that volatile rivalry that's been born between the Wolves and the Suns. Randy Shaver, how about now? All right. Tell him Randy, can Randy hear us? He probably can't hear. Have him call us on the telephone. Obviously, and to no one's surprise, his new microphone has died.
It was a good 72 hours.
We had a decent run.
Yeah, I hope he comes back, because we got a text here. Somebody saw the pictures of Randy down at the Peppa Pig land.
Yeah.
And he saw some photos of Peppa with the family, and he couldn't tell which one was the pig and which one was Randy.
Oh, God.
Clear that up.
All right, we'll hear from Randy here in a minute. The Wolves win, playing without Naz Reid, too, who's sick. Word is there's a flu going around the locker room. They're right back at it tonight, Josh. They're playing at the Utah Jazz.
That'll be fun.
Playing at the Utah Jazz. Holler at me when Randy's back on the telephone. Somebody point at me.
Will do.
Who needs the Russian kid? Right? Who needs the Russian kid anyway?
They'll win games without
The Pigs won a road game last night. They beat one of the top clubs in the Eastern Conference, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They won by a final score of 2-1, 3-1 if you count Marcus Foligno's second empty net goal in the last 2 games, I think. What? I'm not sure what he's trying to prove.
He's just trying to piss you off.
I bet they coach you to score when you have the opportunity. That's my guess. Whether or not there's somebody in the way.
Randy Shaver, do you know anything about Marcus Foligno? Is he mad at us or something? Is something we did to anger him?
Well, he got another empty netter last night, so maybe it's because you keep teasing people about getting empty netters.
That's what I'm imagining, that maybe he's trying to make some kind of a point. I think that's back-to-back games with empty net goals for Marcus. Just when you think you know a guy. Just when you think you know a guy and you can trust a guy.
Yeah, I think he's not very happy with you.
I guess not. Sorry about your microphone. You sound good on the telephone. Strong road game for the Pigs. Old Phil, the Pigs goaltender, was busy. He stopped 31 pucks. The Leafs have lost 3 straight. Now, it's a back-to-back situation for the Pigs, too. The boys play at Les Habitants tonight. And the word is goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury will play in Montreal tonight for the final time. He's from that neighborhood. He's about to retire. So folks will fall down and touch themselves tonight.
It'll be great. And I'm sure he'll play very inspired tonight, too. So.
Oh, I missed a basketball note that I wanted to throw your way, Randy Shaver. I remember a couple of years ago, man, you could not get enough of Joel Embiid. You couldn't. He was like heroin. You couldn't stop talking about the potential and the greatness of Joel. And I mean, and the guy's been injured. You know, if you're hurt, you're hurt. Now, some basketball fans think the guy's SAWFT soft and he should be. I'm not going to get into that. When you're hurt, fine, whatever. But it is interesting to read that the Philadelphia 76ers, their last game, as far as I know, was against the LA Lakers, and that was the 400th missed game of Joel Embiid's career.
Oh, my gosh.
That's insane.
That's a career for some people.
Yeah.
400 games.
Well, didn't they say that's half his career?
Almost. It almost is, I think, John.
Yeah, they said it was like right there.
He has now missed 47% of all possible games during his time in the league.
And what's his career earnings?
Oh, Lord, I have no idea.
Right. Well, he missed so much time before his career even started, right? I mean, he was hurt after he was drafted and didn't really play for like the first year and a half of his career. So he's really been bitten by the injury bug. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, he's made over $266 million.
Yeah.
Ain't bad.
We're going to talk about another guy, you know, not injury related, but just another guy who's made way too much money here in a few minutes. We will. Of course, NBA fans weren't forgiving on Twitter. One fan wrote, to get paid 100% and work only 50%. What a life.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Another little more nasty, this message on Twitter said, this is why this mother effer is going to stay ringless.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, so will his teammates. So,
11 seasons in the NBA, he's only played 446 games. Man, I bet he knows the sensation of each of the different chairs on the Sixers bench. You know what I mean? This one's a little firm. This one's a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, I do feel some sympathy for the guy, but it is an interesting stat. All right. We've talked on this program many, many, many times about the tough spot that referees are in these days, especially high school, youth sports referees. They don't get paid Dick Tracy. They get zero respect from moronic parents. We've talked up and down about how tough that gig is and how the numbers keep shrinking every year. There's less and less adults willing to be a youth sports referee.
Having said that,
which is a shame. Yes, Randy.
Having said that, though, in the last year or two in Minnesota high school football, the numbers for referees are going back up.
Okay, good.
So having said that, what's happening is there is a new generation of former players who are now becoming referees. And I saw that quite a bit this fall when I was out covering high school football, that we are seeing the numbers start to trend back in a positive way. So fingers crossed it stays that way.
Well, that's great to hear, and I want to thank college football official Jesus for texting this in, and I hope this is all accurate information. He texted in to inform us that 5 Minnesota high school football officials have been chosen as the best in the nation by the National Football League, and they will be, quote, officiating the skills competition at the Pro Bowl games, which Josh told us all excitedly earlier that it begins tonight.
The skills competition starts tonight.
The Pro Bowl game skills competition, and eventually they'll play a game of flag football. But 5 Minnesota high school football refs are making the trip to wherever it is, Kalamazoo. Where do they have the Pro Bowl?
It's in Orlando. About 10 minutes from where I am right now.
College football official Jesus says this is a huge honor for an official. Maybe you can make some mention of it when Randy is on the radio. And he sent me the names of these folks. So we want to say congratulations to Pat Bergquist from Gilbert, Dennis Harris from Edina, Pete Cheeley from St. Cloud, MJ Wagonson from Pine Island, and Kevin Britt from Apple Valley. You folks have a tough gig. You put up with a lot of nonsense, and we have respect for you. Have fun in Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo.
Or Orlando. I thought, yeah.
I hope it's Orlando.
That's great. I mean, that's
great. No, it's great. And like I said, things are trending back in a better way. COVID certainly was one of the big reasons why the numbers dipped. And after COVID, it took a while to kind of get them going. But last fall, I talked to a lot of referees last fall when I was out covering games, and even the State High School League agrees that the numbers are starting to come back up, which is great.
Okay, and now is part of that, you think, because of high schools are enforcing some stiffer penalties for parents who act like jagoffs?
Well, first of all, does that stuff exist? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, I don't see that very much.
Okay.
And I have to be honest with you, I only really kind of deal right now with high school football coaches. I don't know about basketball or wrestling or hockey and what that looks like or sounds like. But when I'm at the football games, those coaches rarely do you see a coach argue with a referee. Rarely. There's a lot of respect, and I think, to me, the big reason why is these guys all understand if they don't get their ducks in a row as coaches, as leaders of their communities, there's not going to be referees, and there won't be games. And so
someone's drunk dad will be pulling a striped shirt over the top of it.
I think the collective effort has paid off in the last 5 years for sure to get this thing back where it should be. So,
all right, I missed a couple of referees from Minnesota that are going off to the Pro Bowl game. Sheets Madrours will be making an appearance as well. I forgot. Sorry, Mr. Madrours. I forgot, Josh. I forgot about Sheets Madrours.
Yeah, there's a bunch coming in that were left off that list.
Yes, ever since you made that mistake with Gabe.
Yeah, a lot of Gabes are coming in.
They're all picking on us, thinking that we're going to fall for any damn thing.
That got me, and that got me good.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
I don't think I've ever been gotten that good.
Oh, well, there you go. Again, congrats. I could never be a ref. My God, I would so quickly strike a child, number one. And yeah.
Well, number one, you got to know the rules.
Oh, I know the rules. I'd hit a kid.
I'm not sure.
That is against the rules.
Well, yeah, see, I know the rules of the games, but I would hit a child. I would choke someone's grandmother, and it would be over for me. Here's a couple more details. On a story I think we covered a while back, but it was presented yesterday like it was news or new information. The Utah Hockey Club will not be moving forward with Yeti or Yetis as their team nickname. Now, we knew that, right?
Well, it's officially done now.
It's officially done.
Yeah, before they were talking about the hurdles, and it was likely not going to happen.
Okay, it's official.
It's official.
Because the patent and trademark police said, no way, you can't be the Yeti or the Yetis because there's already a cooler kit company making a few bucks off.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So they're going to go ahead and hold an in-arena fan vote to pick a new nickname. Now, personally, I've never bought a single word of any of that. The fans are going to pick our team name nonsense. Not at the professional level. Sure, maybe a minor league baseball team would do that. But there's way too much money to be made at the pro level to where any club is going to really let the fans choose the team name. I've never believed a word of that. But here are some of the choices, I guess, they're down to. The Utah Hockey Club expects to announce a permanent name and identity before next NHL season, which is just great. But they say, again, fans attending their next 4 home games will have the responsibility of naming the team. There are 3 options. One of the options is to stick with the Utah Hockey Club, their current name. I got no problem with that. Whatever. It's boring.
It's probably the best of the ones that are
Washington did that for, a year or two?
Right.
And nobody really, had a problem with it, so.
If they want to stick with Utah Hockey Club, hell yeah, because it's way better than some of the new names they're coming up with. Don't even get me started on the totally unnecessary Seattle Kraken. Another option is the Utah Mammoth. Now, that's stupid because it's singular. Singular team names suck, and they'll always suck. The final option is the Utah Wasatch, in reference to the Wasatch Mountain Range, known for its many ski resorts. Also stupid.
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah, don't get me started on the names that are hung on pro ball clubs the last 30 years or so. They're just terrible. Word is, now, Ashley, you'd be interested in this, there will still be a Yeti-like mythical snow creature mascot. No matter what they name the team, there will be a big, bumbling, blood-soaked Yeti mascot wandering around the rink.
Oh, I bet it'll be so cute.
They can do that, apparently. They can do that for them, but they can't name the... And they also, the Utah Hockey Club would like you to know that, or their fans to know that this might not be the last fan vote. There may be another round. Whatever, that's all crap.
Yeah, but they got to figure something out in order to sell jerseys, to sell T-shirts, to sell. I mean, that's really what this is all about.
Yes.
It's about, marketing. So
here's what I'm curious about, but we don't need to do any thorough research or anything on this. It says the Utah Hockey Club are considered a new franchise rather than an extension of the Arizona Coyotes' legacy.
Yeah.
How did they get that permission or whatever the word might be?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what the Wild was too, though.
Well, yeah, but Randy, the Wild started from nothing. The Utah Hockey Club last year was the Arizona,
you're right.
or 2 years ago, whatever, were the Arizona Coyotes. So.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the all-time Stars franchise numbers, they combine Minnesota and Dallas, so I don't know.
Still though, the Wild, they could have pulled more from the North Star, I guess, legacy if they wanted to.
How so? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they could have been... maybe they could have done the colors the same. They could have, I mean, there's things they could have done if they wanted to, right?
I don't know.
Been more North Star-ish.
Obviously, they couldn't be the North Stars or the Stars.
No, they couldn't do that. Right.
And I don't know, dude. Are team colors also owned color schemes? I don't know these things.
Yeah. I bet they have to be different in a certain percentage. Yeah. I know that's happened here before when they've discussed T-shirts here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know all the rules of that, Randy Shaver, but I just found it interesting that they're just leaving the history, not that there was a rich history, but they're leaving.
Yeah, wouldn't you? I'd leave it behind.
They want to forget all about the Arizona Coyotes. They had one good year when Roenick was there, and that was it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they do own trademarks for the colors.
Yeah. So, there you go. Not that any of us care, because it's the worst Super Bowl ever, but they're saying, Randy Shaver, the Kirk Cousins curse has already decided the ball game.
How?
Okay, how's this?
I think I had heard of this once before, the Kirk Cousins curse. It's already decided the game. No team that has ever lost to Kirk Cousins during the regular season has gone on to win the Super Bowl. Not a single one. So when the Eagles lost to the Falcons back in September, it sealed their fate. So what's the point? Why bother?
Exactly. Yeah.
The Cousins curse has struck 8 times in the last 8 seasons.
Really?
It's for real skis, baby.
That is some guy with a buttload of time to do research to figure that stuff out.
Like a retired guy.
Yeah, well, it ain't me. But, man.
In the last 8 seasons, the Kirk Cousins curse has boned a Super Bowl contender.
What happens if Kirk Cousins had beaten both teams that made the Super Bowl?
They cancel the whole thing.
You take the NFC.
Curse is over, I guess.
Yeah, then I think the curse is over. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the way this article ends by saying, hey, it's only logical. If you can't handle Kirk Cousins, then what luck do you have against Patrick Mahomes? And, of course, the referees that help him out along the way. All right,
I can hear it now. I can hear it now when the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Nobody thought we could do it. Everybody thought the curse would not allow us to win the Super Bowl. Nobody believed that we could do it.
That's right. That's damn right. Well, speaking of this godforsaken ball game. Oh, this is cute. The wife of Kansas City Chiefs owner Clark Hunt. She goes by the name of Tavia, apparently. She says it's not the referees that have put the Chiefs in another Super Bowl. It's God.
Oh. Let that be a lesson to the rest of the teams out there. God does not love you.
Or just a little less, maybe.
I'm not going to get into this. She made this lengthy statement, this long, winding story on Instagram, and I'm not going to get into it because it honestly gives me the creeps.
Yeah.
But she did say that God brought Andy Reid to Kansas City.
Okay.
I think a good resume and a healthy contract brought him to Kansas City.
Probably helped.
But check this out now. Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback dude, after the AFC title game last Sunday, he did jump on Twitter and simply wrote, "Thank you, God." And he didn't see this coming at all, Josh. He did not. God replied to him on Twitter.
I love this.
God replied. He probably thought, well, I'm not going to get any. No, he got a reply. And God said, direct quote on Twitter, "You think I did this? You think I want to see you and your cringe family get carried to another ring? Get carried to another ring with a bad late call? Get over yourself, my dude." God said that.
Dang.
You heard him.
I know Jesus is active on Twitter. It's one of the more popular Twitter accounts.
Oh, what are some of the things that Jesus tweets?
He's very funny. Dana, you'd be better at, or X, I guess, now.
Yeah.
He's very funny.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it just Jesus? Did he get the original? Or
I'm trying to look. I haven't really ever followed
Yeah,
him
he
much,
has
but
the OG. It's just at Jesus. Like he tweeted in April, "Where my peeps at?"
Yeah,
like,
if that's the guy I'm thinking of, he's always got some funny things to say.
said, "I was returning, but you shot my balloon." What?
Oh, yeah, it looks like this account hasn't really been active in the last couple of years.
Ah, darn it.
"Where my peeps at?" he says. All right, so this Patrick Mahomes Twitter thread, or whatever they call it, it wasn't over yet. So Patrick thanks God. God tweets back and says, "Look, I had nothing to do with this. Guess who stepped in and said it was all me? Satan."
It does seem more likely.
The next in line in this Twitter thread is Satan. And he tweeted, he said, this was me.
My bad.
He said, "I'm a huge fan of you and your family's work, by the way, especially Jackson."
God. Jeez.
I didn't know Jesus was on Twitter. I didn't know God was in there.
Oh, they hang out.
God, the Bible, good, even. Even isn't a word. Evil is what I meant to say. Heaven, hell.
He tweeted TGIF.
Who? Jesus tweeted TGIF.
Even Jesus loved Fridays. Everybody does.
Thinking his dad or whatever.
Oh, I didn't even consider that. It should be TDIF.
Thank Dad it's Friday. Randy Shaver, Bill Belichick has suggested that the NFL should rename the Super Bowl trophy in honor of Tom Brady.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, why is that ridiculous?
They don't name it the Star Trophy. It's named the Lombardi Trophy.
They should name it the Brady Trophy. He won 7 of them.
He's just kidding. Yeah, he's just kidding.
That came after he was talking about how the coaches don't make the players make the coaches. And he's listening to all the great players he had on his teams and said, listen, I wasn't out there making tackles. I was just putting guys in positions where I thought they could succeed.
Nope.
And the great players are the ones that did that.
Totally agree with that comment. Absolutely.
But let's get back to this.
But you don't name the trophy after Brady.
Why not? I don't even like Tom Brady at all. The run that he had was miserable for me. You guys know that. I hated the sight of the man. But he won 7 Super Bowls as a starting quarterback. Why wouldn't
Good for him. Good for him.
So what's the problem?
There wouldn't be a Super Bowl if it wasn't for Vince Lombardi.
What do you mean there wouldn't be a Super Bowl if there wasn't?
It's the Lombardi Trophy for a reason. Leave it alone.
He won 2 of them back when they didn't even know how to play football.
That guy's smoking on the sidelines.
Brady won 5 more than whoever Vince Lombardi was.
Smiles and glory holes.
Glory holes, dude. Yeah.
I don't care one way or the other, but I want it to happen. I want it to become the Brady Trophy just to watch Packer fans lose their minds.
Yeah, no.
Well, I don't know. Why wouldn't a guy? I mean, Michael Jordan now has a trophy named after him in the NBA Finals. Is the MVP the Jordan Trophy now or something?
Let me look that up.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
It's something like that. Michael Jordan. All I'm saying is, why wouldn't you eventually just say, okay, we did the Lombardi routine. Let's modernize this. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you name it after? Why would?
Why would you want to? Why would you feel like you have to modernize a trophy?
Because no one knows or cares who Vince Lombardi is anymore.
That's not true either.
You think a 20-year-old kid knows who the hell Vince Lombardi is?
I would love to see a poll of current players.
If they learn the history of the game, they would know who Vince Lombardi is.
Overrated. All I'm saying is if you're going to...
Overrated?
Vince Lombardi. God. Wildly overrated. If you're going to name a trophy after a Super Bowl character, it should be Brady.
Well, that's not what they're naming it after. When the league started, the first ever Super Bowl involved the Packers and the great coach Vince Lombardi. He deserves to have his name on the trophy.
Just because he was the first one there?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
He deserves it.
Well, who the hell was the first starting point guard in the very first NBA Finals? Let's name the trophy after. Okay, if it's not going to be Brady, then we got to go Charles Haley. He won 5 Super Bowls. It's now the Charles Haley Trophy.
Jesus God.
He was the one that had all the weed in his car, right?
I'm just saying, if you're going to update it, you got to go.
Nobody said you had to update it.
I didn't say that. I said if you're going to. I didn't say you had to, but if you're going to.
But we're not going to, so you're talking about something that's not going to happen.
I bet you before I die, they'll rename the trophy.
No, they won't.
Before I die, it'll be the Tom Brady Trophy.
No, they won't.
I got the last word in there, Josh.
I heard that. Well, he came back with, no, they won't, so you got to say something now.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
Got him.
Brady won
I don't give a
3
crap
times the Super Bowls, more than 3 times the Super Bowls than Vince Lombardi.
It doesn't matter.
So just because Lombardi was the first guy there, he wins.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Doesn't it just have to do with more like about honoring his memory because of him dying young and all that?
It's the tradition. It's the history of the league. Leave it alone.
I don't know.
You don't even like Tom Brady. Leave it alone. Jesus.
Jesus is on X. We learned that earlier today. Adam pisses me off, Jesus. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's changed his name. Adam doesn't piss me off anymore, Jesus said. The Vikings hate the Packers so much they refuse to win the Lombardi Trophy. They're not even going to win a Super Bowl.
Until they change the name of the trophy, we're not going to win it.
Yeah, that's the excuse we'll
That's it. That's the reason why.
For the 7th consecutive year, Buffalo Wild Wings is offering free wings if the Super Bowl goes into overtime. The only difference this year, of course, that this time around it's the worst Super Bowl ever. But look it up if you're interested. I don't know all the details. That's your problem.
I like free wings.
What didn't we cover yet?
How many wings do they give away if the game goes into overtime?
I don't know. I didn't look up. And you got
That's a fact I'd like to know.
Oh, okay. That's why I said look it up. You're on your own from here on out.
Hey, you know what? If it's any free wings, though, it doesn't matter how many. Those are expensive now.
Jeez, you're not kidding,
Well,
actually.
doesn't it seem like every year they talk about a wing shortage right around Super Bowl time?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
always stories on that. Maybe this is why.
How about this? A UFC fighter flew from California all the way to North Carolina so he could choke out a trash-talking Fortnite player. But it's not as exciting as it sounds. It's not as exciting as it sounds. I got pumped when I read the headline, picturing some psychotic UFC fighter getting on an airplane from California all the way to North Carolina. It's got to be like 15 hours or something, right? But he despite that long trip, he still gets off the plane and chokes somebody out just for talking trash. It's not exactly that. But it's still kind of fun and also frightening because there's a video you can watch. So let me tell you, this California-based UFC fighter by the name of Brian Ortega, he won a Fortnite bet against a dude I guess he's friendly with. So I believe it was a bet where if Torga, how do you say his name? I believe it was a bet where if Ortega beat the Fortnite dude at a game of Fortnite, the Fortnite dude's punishment was to get choked smooth out. And they went through with it. And, of course, they made it into an online video kind of a thing. Ortega went to this Fortnite player's place of business and waited for the guy to be done with work. And then they sat the Fortnite guy down in a chair, and he choked the guy unconscious.
That's kind of funny. He's just like outside his office window waving at him.
Hi, honey.
Couple hours.
It was the guy that gets choked out, the smile on his face was kind of fun to watch. He was having so much fun with it.
But you have to be...
What?
You have to admit, Josh, that the convulsing and whatnot that this kid did after he got choked out, that's frightening.
That was disturbing. Because it went on for a little bit, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be smiling as I'm losing, like, oxygen to my brain.
Well, no, he smiled after it was over.
Oh, he was laughing like crazy afterwards. They both were.
Disturbing, yet funny. Because once the guy went to sleep, then he started with the...
Yeah. that part was, I thought, oh, he has killed him.
I thought he was going to vomit or something, or blood was going to come out of his ears, but he was... You ever been choked out, Randy, where you go night-night?
Oh, no, did we lose him again?
We lost him again.
Fair enough.
I have. It's pleasant.
When did you get choked out?
I had a friend of mine's hot older sister was dating a Navy SEAL.
Dating a Navy SEAL.
And this is maybe, I must have been 8th or 9th grade. And he came up behind me and choked me out.
Just for fun?
One of the honors of my life.
Let me guess, was he the I'm the big guy and you're the little guy type of character?
That's 100% what it was.
Sure, right.
I hate those people.
And he choked you unconscious.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
But before I even knew what was happening.
Yeah. Well, that's not... And did
I thought, oh, look, he's hugging me.
Do you know how long?
Yeah, how long were you out?
Long enough to pee my pants.
You did not pee your pants.
No, I didn't. It was real quick.
Did anyone tell you that you flopped like a crappie?
No, they didn't say anything like that.
Randy, you ever been choked out?
No, sir.
Okay. Closest I ever came to being choked out, I was lucky. The choker, I was the chokee. The choker was a living legend, Greg Gagne.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Many years.
That's an honor, actually.
It was. And it's funny that you put it that way. Me and one of my old radio partners from years ago, we had some lame radio appearance at a car dealership or some miserable situation like that. And Greg Gagne happened to be there. I think maybe he ran the car dealership. And we met him, of course. And I said, Greg, I watched you since I was a kid. It would be an honor if you put me in the Gagne sleeper. And he slapped it on me quicker than you can say Jack Robinson. And I started to fade. Everything went black, and then he released me. So I never went completely out. But I have to say, other than when I almost drowned under a dock when I was a kid on Lake Minnetonka, it was the single most helpless feeling I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
It was very frightening.
Did it happen pretty quick? You started to feel like you were going to go out pretty quick?
Yeah, it did happen very quickly. And then, of course, when I was fully back, fully conscious again, I did the fake laugh. I acted like I had a good time. It was not a good time.
I had a similar situation with you and Vern with the time where the universe worked out that I got really, really drunk with John Cena. And he was at a bar down in Rochester, and I wanted him, just as a badge of honor, I wanted him to give me his finishing move out in the snowbank. And he goes, I can't do it. I'm like, you do it to the big show all the time. I'm not that big. He goes, no, you don't understand. I've had enough to drink, and I'm strong enough, that could accidentally kill you.
You're talking about what move? What move?
The FU, the attitude adjustment.
Oh, sure.
That is so cool, Dana.
Yeah, he's like, I could accidentally kill you. He goes, I don't need that. You don't need that.
I wish I would have known you back then. I would have told you to tell Cena that his movies suck.
Oh, man.
They are pretty bad.
Then he really would have given me the move.
Nice guy, but his movies suck.
I like
Does he color his hair?
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. He has to.
He's no kid anymore, Randy Shea.
Every time I see him, his hair's darker and darker.
Yeah, he's got the shoe polish out.
Yeah.
He's afraid to get old. Did the Twins sign Trevor Bauer yet? Did the Twins sign Trevor Bauer?
No.
I mean, they should. He's the second best baseball player in the entire
Did you see, Nick, where the Twins have the largest payroll in the Central Division?
No.
They have all the teams in the division, they are paying more money this year than any other team. Doesn't feel like it, does it?
No, not right now it doesn't.
I saw that stat yesterday, and I was like, like 8 million more than the Tigers, which is like, how is that even possible? But they are.
Before I die,
I think their payroll is like $140 million.
Well, that will change, right, before they open the season? Right? Won't the Tigers spend a few more bucks? I mean, this can't hold.
Well, I don't know if the Tigers will. They've got such a young lineup that's under team control.
That's true.
That they probably won't spend that much more.
Before I die, I want to see the Tom Brady trophy handed out to the Super Bowl winner, and I want to see the Twins sign Trevor Bauer. He might even be more trouble than I originally thought. Now, check this out. Bauer went off on Twitter this week. And that's a running joke here with our listening audience whenever we're talking about the Twins or even the Vikings or Wild or Timberwolves when they're short a player. Boy, we could use a pitcher. We could use a point guard. Someone always texts in and says, sign Trevor Bauer. So I thought our audience would appreciate this. Bauer went off on Twitter talking about how his global popularity, that was one of his topics he brought up on Twitter, his global popularity and how his skills on the mound are still as good, if not better, than anyone. He claimed that on a global scale, he is second in popularity only to Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, man. Why would you do that, dude?
And if he was on the mound for a big league team today, he said there are realistically only 20 batters in the league that can even challenge him.
His Twitter name is so stupid.
What is it?
Bauer outage.
That's terrible.
So bad.
Only 20 batters in the entire league that might even give him a fight. Now, he better be including Kepler into that list of 20 batters. If my memory serves me right, the Strudel owned Trevor Bauer's ass.
Yeah, that's true.
He went back-to-back dong on Bauer. Anyway, now, the author of this article, someone from Bro Bible, checked out Bauer's claims. And in Bauer's defense, he is quite popular on a global scale. In all likelihood, is how you say it, in all likelihood, he is in the top 10 most popular big league players in the past few years, and certainly top 5 among pitchers.
Popular or most searched or most...
Exactly. That's where the asterisk belongs. Trevor Bauer's popular for a little bit of a different reason than your average baseball player.
I don't think it's popularity.
No,
I think it's just...
Curiosity. Right.
Yeah.
Somebody said if you yourself have to announce that you're popular or knowledgeable, then you're neither of those things.
No, that's exactly right.
He also said he's the most knowledgeable pitcher on the entire planet.
Yes, he is.
I like how Chipper Jones even came after him, and he said the comedic aspect of this app is what I'm here for when he responded to Trevor Bauer.
The most knowledgeable pitcher alive today is what he said about himself. And he also reiterated that he is willing to pitch for free for any big league ball club this season.
No thanks.
Sign him. Sign him. Sign Rogers. Sign Bauer.
We need it.
Trade for Jimmy Butler.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make this the perfect storm of absolute nonsense. What do they call it, Josh? Ground zero for madness.
Yeah, it would be quite the sideshow, wouldn't it?
Is it because it's just too boring right now?
I don't know if not boring.
Minnesota sports just too boring. There's not enough characters anymore.
I'm not going to call it boring, but, I'm always seeking some kind of negative drama.
Yeah, we don't have characters.
Well, I would.
Do we really think about it?
Well, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a character.
Yeah.
Jamal Jefferson is a character.
Yeah, but they're characters in a good way. They're like great athletes.
Okay, you're looking for an evil genius.
Yeah, they're not the guy with the Whizzinator.
No.
They're not. We don't have. They're not Christian Leitner. We don't have the.
We need
character.
a D-bag.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Exactly.
Josh Donaldson.
Yes. Exactly. We don't have those.
What was that little winger that played for the Wild for a while? He made his fame with Vancouver because he was kind of a cheap shot. I loved him. What the hell was that kid's name again?
Oh, Cook?
Yes, Matt Cook. I see
Cook.
I know exactly what you mean. We need some more evil,
right?
Shady,
right? We used to have that with Brzezinski, right?
Brzezinski.
I mean, guys like that would the pot stirrers.
Yes.
We don't really have the pot stirrers.
Drug addicts, alcoholics. We need, a little bit of. Pat Beverly was probably the last character maybe we had in town.
Yeah, probably.
Pat Beverly.
Yeah.
When the hell are you ever coming home from Florida?
I don't know if I am.
Yet to be determined.
I don't know.
Well, if you don't, that's fine. Just be prepared to have a lot of cell phone conversations.
I'll be back at some point.
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Randy Shaver.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Welcome to the jungle, clones. It's the Jim Rome Show podcast.
The greatest and loyal fan base ever. You, the clones. It all starts with the jungle. We're in it to win it, and I'm in it to go as hard as I possibly can every day to make sure that you clones get the best possible product every single day. Day one, all in, let's freaking go.
The Jim Rome Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'll never forget my old dad. The things he'd say to me.
What did he say?
What the hell are you doing in the bathroom day and night? Why don't you get out of there? Give someone else a chance.
On 93X.
Man, if only it was tomorrow.
Tomorrow's a Friday.
That'd be sweet.
If it was tomorrow already, we'd be creeping up on a dramatic escape from the building. But it's not tomorrow, it's today.
Maybe Aganya can come in studio and choke you out until tomorrow.
Wake up tomorrow afternoon,
This time.
and it's all over. I got the weekend ahead of me. We'll suck it up here. We'll push through. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show as we dial in here at 8:32. Let's talk about things that gross us out. Let's talk about some things that gross us smooth out. It says here there are a lot of common things that people find disgusting, and yet they still happen. The examples they use here, loud eaters, yeah.
Don't like that at all.
Sticky surfaces, I can get over that pretty easily.
Not a fan.
Not a fan at all.
Dirty toilet seats.
Love them.
It looks like it has a beard.
Oh. That doesn't really scare me. Dirty toilet seats don't scare me too much. I mean, I guess, of course, they're gross, but I don't know. I can handle it. Spitting. Oh, I'm a spitter.
That's a kink of mine.
It depends what.
Spitting does gross some people out. I mean, I've been hollered at before for even just spitting on a sidewalk. People go, "Oh God."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It depends what kind of spitting. If you're like hawking a bunch of stuff up, that's nasty. But if it's just a casual spit, it doesn't bother me.
Sure, everybody's different. Biting your finger. How do you say that again, Josh?
Biting your fingernails.
Biting your fingernails.
I don't do that, but it's never grossed me out when someone does. You did? You don't like that?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Actually, the two relationships that I was in that were longer, both of them were chronic nail biters to the point where like their thumbs were deformed because of how much they bit their nails. It grossed me out.
So they would chew on the skin as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't just biting nails off. It was like that nervous chewing on the cuticles. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, and then you can always, and then them being right next to you and you can hear it, all the spit and stuff.
I used to be a nail biter, and then I got braces, and then that stopped.
They became a pillow biter.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. I only recently started using a fingernail clipper. Only recently. I always would just bite my fingernails down to a preferred length. I know that sounds gross. I always thought, well, why go fetch a fingernail clipper when I can just use my my jagged teeth here to straighten these nails out? But I have turned a corner, Josh. Some would say it's about time, as a guy in his 50s. I've finally come around to using a fingernail, and I think they're wonderful.
I'm a lifer. Yeah, I've always used them.
You mean when you were a little kid, you never bit your fingernails off?
Not that I'm aware of.
You're so proper.
Well, I don't know. They were introduced to me, and I thought, hey, these work pretty good.
This is a convenient device.
There are also more random things that only gross some people out. So the characters over there at a website called BuzzFeed, they asked their readers to create a list of perfectly common things that some people find disgusting, but others don't think twice about. Okay, I think I see where they're going with this now. Perfectly common things that some people find disgusting. Others, it ain't no thing but a chicken wing on a string from Burger King. We start off with one here. Josh and I have had many back and forth conversations, and I think we even had a recent on-air conversation about the feeling of lotion or moisturizer on your skin. I love it, Josh.
It creeps me out for whatever reason. It's a weird deal. I despise it.
I love the feeling of my moist skin all over. Little kids with food on their face, that's a big one for me, little kids in general.
Yeah, that doesn't gross me.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
That's probably the father in you.
Little kids gross me out, especially when they have food running down their friggin' yap. People who floss their teeth in front of others. Well, I have to go on record and say I've never watched anyone floss their teeth.
My wife is
including myself.
She's an aggressive flosser. I don't like to be around it. It's aggressive, and then there's like a little flick every time she pulls it out. Like,
yep.
Not the flick.
Yeah.
And does a chunk go from?
That's what I picture, right?
Where do the chunks go?
I'm sure they go all over every place.
You and your wife both floss.
No. She flosses.
She flosses.
Yeah, I do more thanks to Dental Babe Sheeza. She keeps me honest. Maybe I'm a couple time a weeker now, which before I never did. It was twice a year at the dentist office.
Good for you.
When people wear dirty shoes on a couch or a bed.
Oh, that grosses me out.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I guess I don't really see it, but that doesn't gross me out.
Yeah,
No.
I've never cared.
I would never call that gross. I would certainly say take your friggin' shoes off.
Yeah, it seems
but I wouldn't call it gross.
You could be stepping in so much stuff and then track it on the bed. Like dog poop.
We all know the dangers,
No,
Womble.
you have
We do.
dog poop on your shoes.
How often do you see that?
On the comforter.
Yeah, that's
Most people would clean that off.
150 times out of 151. I don't know why I use those numbers. They probably don't have dog feces in there, but I see
never
where you
know.
I mean,
Never know.
if you think
but
about
but
it,
Wapple, you usually do know. You usually do know.
Yeah, you're mostly aware.
You got most of the dog poop off.
Maybe
not
there's
all
some
of it.
subtle nuance from just a trace of dog poop you weren't aware of. But
Yeah.
if you step in it, you're aware.
Perfectly common things that some people find disgusting, others doesn't bother them. Eating runny eggs.
I love runny eggs.
I do too.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really
Preferred
enjoy watching people eat runny eggs.
I will admit that the sight of a over easy egg, not gross, but if you get the strands happening, you know what I'm talking about? They're
Yeah.
scooping it into their mouth, and the yolk is kind of thick, and
Yeah.
it's snot-like. There's a little element of grossness there for me, but it's nothing that's going to put me off the breakfast that's in front of me. But there's something there. I'll go along with it. Random hairs.
Yeah, that doesn't get me.
Nope.
Tangled around a bar of soap.
That stuff disgusts my wife for sure.
In a bathroom sink.
And it's always hers, too. So I don't get it, but she can't stand that.
I would be screwed if that grossed me out having 3 dogs. There's hair everywhere. I bring hair with me other places.
Yeah, I had that problem for a while with a dog or a cat. I'm happy to say it's not a big issue in the house these days. Random hairs, not my favorite thing, but nothing that I would think twice about. Years ago, I spent the night at a pal's house. Josh, this was back when I had the buff tufts cruising out of my melon.
I remember those days.
Wicked hairdo I had back years and years ago. Spent the night at a buddy's house. In the morning, because we were going someplace important, I took a douche in his bathroom. And I got dressed, and my pal got dressed, and we were headed off to do something important. And then my pal pulls me aside and says, "Hey, I'm not trying to be a prick here, but my wife is just disgusted by what you left in the tub when you took a shower." I said, what are you talking about? And he said, "You left a pile. Just a pile of hair everywhere." And I said, "No, I friggin' did." He's like, "Go take a look." I went and took a look, and I was absolutely astonished. I destroyed their tub. There was hair everywhere. On the floor of the tub, on the walls, around the soap, the bar of soap. I had no idea that I was that type of an animal. And I guess that might have been the early days of realizing that my hair was coming out. But I couldn't believe it. It was so bad. So you have that at your house, Josh?
Oh, yeah. Big
Step
time.
into the douche and it's just hairs everywhere?
Yeah. Yeah, and she, and I tell her, you could clean that out, You could take care of that if you want.
No rinsey rinse. That's what I did. I did about a 5-minute rinsey rinse session and got rid of it all. Does it gross anyone out to sit in a warm seat that someone just sat in?
I love other people's butt sizzle.
Not a fan of
I'll
that.
sit right there. I get in there as fast as I can.
I got some Wapple butt sizzle earlier today.
Oh, you got some what?
Some Wapple butt sizzle earlier today.
Butt sizzle.
Mm-hmm.
Glad I could help.
How'd that happen?
I was in that other studio down there. He was working there. Then I had to run in to do something quick, and I sat down and I got some little Wapple warmth.
Nice.
Sitting in a warm seat that someone just sat in. Now it's noticeable, but I can't say that I'd call it gross. So far, I don't think there's been anything on this list that I find disgusting. Certainly a little troubling here and there. I don't understand this one at all. The texture, again, it's perfectly common things that some people find disgusting. Others don't think about it at all. And the next one, I don't even get it. The texture of wooden cutlery? What are we
I'm assuming they're talking about the wooden handles?
Yeah, I guess.
They must be.
What in the living hell? Why would that bother anybody?
Maybe, are they more germ prone? I don't know.
Oh, that could be.
They said texture.
I guess I'm thinking, I've been to a few places where even like the part of the fork or the spoon that you put in your mouth is made out of wood.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't really enjoy that. Maybe because I'm just so used to using like metal, it kind of weirds me out.
I bet you're right. I bet that's what it is.
Afraid I'm going to get a sliver.
Yeah.
Oh, that would suck, dude. A sliver on your tongue.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good at all.
That's why you don't put wood in your mouth.
You guys know me. I enjoy being barefoot more than anything. I cannot wait until it gets regularly above 50 degrees so I can put on a pair of flip-flops. I hate the winter because I have to wear socks. But I would never call the feeling of wearing socks disgusting. That made the list. A common thing that some people find disgusting, the feeling of wearing socks.
Oh, I love, like, when you get new socks and it's all cushioned.
Everybody,
feels like you're walking on a cloud.
It's a beautiful thing. New socks are a beautiful thing.
Short but fat cheeses can't eat popsicles because of the wooden stick.
Really?
Yeah.
The feeling of it in her hand.
Her mouth, she said. Yeah,
in her mouth.
Yeah, she doesn't. Okay, that's a real thing here. Huh?
Oh, sorry.
Belly buttons, troublesome people.
Oh, I'm very big on that. Actually,
you don't like that?
I absolutely hate. I don't know when it started or why, but like for some reason when I was younger, I don't know. People thought it would be like every once in a while somebody would like poke my belly button, thinking that they're like cute or something. Boyfriend I have, whatever it is, and it makes me just. Oh, I have like a visceral reaction, and it makes me want to vomit. Even thinking about it makes me want to throw up.
Well, this is a little different. You're reacting to a finger in your belly button.
Yeah, and like watching other people, like if they touch their belly button, I can feel the feeling.
Okay, but what about the sight of a belly button?
I guess super pregnant women, when their belly button kind of pokes out.
Yeah,
that freaks me out a little.
Cotton balls.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people that hate that. I think that's along the lines of people hating. Oh shoot, what are those special rags that are nice and soft?
Tampons.
No, you use them on like usually like metal or whatever. They
metal tampons
or your TV. They don't
TV. I don't know.
They don't leave. Cloth. Yeah, they don't leave streaks. But I know a lot of people have issues with those.
Dirty keyboards gross people out.
Yeah, you know what? You couldn't work here if that's the case. 'Cause these keyboards are different color than when we first got them.
Mm-hmm.
Microfiber. Thank you. That's the word you're looking for.
Yep.
Also on the list of microfiber?
Microfiber.
Sure.
Yeah, dirty keyboards, I can see that.
Yeah, sometimes there's some skin in there, some boogers.
It's just like brown on the top.
Ick.
Brown. Also making the list of perfectly common things that some people find disgusting. Greasy phones, greasy laptops, greasy cabinet doors, greasy refrigerator doors, and the main culprit, greasy fingers.
Oh, greasy microwave or your like stove. Oh, that's gross.
I hate when you grab the refrigerator handle and you can feel on the back of it and you can feel like little tiny bumps and stuff. It's like, oh, dude, clean that.
Someone had butter or something on their hands.
Yeah. It's usually my doing too.
Jelly.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, and then I get mad at myself, like, oh, you animal.
That's the thing. Like when you have kids, everything's always sticky. It drives me nuts. And it doesn't mean you clean it and then all of a sudden it's sticky again.
You lick it clean and it's sticky all over again.
That's right.
Are things getting less sticky the older your kids get?
Nope. Well, not the older kid. I mean, they're well behaved. The youngest. I don't think he ever washes his hands ever.
Oh, probably not. How old is he?
13.
Hell, I didn't wash my hands till the pandemic came to town.
That's true. I never saw you wash your hands until then.
Never washed my hands once until the pandemic hit town.
Working 24/7, Jesus says, when people will blow their nose, like at the dinner table.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
All right, this is similar. Finally, this rundown of things that some people find very gross. Eating a birthday cake after someone's blown all over it. Little kid with the birthday candles.
I never thought of that
Neither
until
did
just
I.
a handful of years ago when somebody mentioned how gross that was. And I thought, you're right, that is gross.
Why did
Especially the little kids.
Yeah, why did that never cross my mind?
No, I never thought of it.
I was the first swinging D in line for cake.
There's so many spit sprinkles all over the place.
Cupcakes are the move.
Same thing with beer pong, Josh. I look back to playing beer pong in dingy St. Cloud basements with unfinished, and the ball would roll around. You pick it up, it'd be covered in hair. You just do a slight dunk into a dirty cup of water and resume throwing it into cups.
Yeah, it was game changer once you start using water and then you just sip your beer after each one.
Yeah,
like, why have we not been doing this the whole time?
By the time I started playing that, we were not drinking the actual liquid that was in the cups.
Yeah, I had
just
that
cobwebs.
I had that realization when we started playing beer drinking ping pong games 10, 15 years ago. It dawned on me, my God, I mean, what the hell is in my glass of beer?
You're
after
alive.
playing this for 2 hours, it probably built up some kind of immunity. I could use some water. You want to know why, Josh?
Why?
Because I shot a man on the Mexican border.
You did.
Half-assed morning show.
On 93X.
Hello, live on the radio. We were talking about gross things. Some people find these different things really gross. Others barely notice. Got a few text messages from our listening audience. Depends on who you are. Some of you find it gross. Others, Here's a listener that says, it bugs me when I see cat litter dust and cat paw prints on the living room table, because I know my little bastard cat went straight from the litter box to the table.
Yeah, he just got done taking a dump.
I don't really think about things like that. I love my kitty. He can go wherever the hell he wants.
I've never had that issue.
I know people who get totally grossed out by a cat walking on the dinner table or walking on the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the countertops and stuff.
I don't even
knowing what they're talking about, that doesn't really bother me.
Don't care. My kitty can go where he wants.
St. Paul Lino, Jesus said soup slurpers. Can't handle soup slurpers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've had to learn to love that.
Pardon me?
I've had to learn to love that. My fiance is a slurper.
He looks like a slurper.
Yeah, if it's soup or if it's pasta, I've taught myself and conditioned myself to deal with it.
Yeah, mouth and eating noises, I'm not much of a fan.
Hate it. Now, we were talking about, what were we talking about? When you play beer pong and the ball goes in your beer and the ball's on the floor and the hairs and the dirt and sure. Another listener said, how about those parties when we were young where all the liquor would go in a bathtub?
Oh, yeah.
Or a trash can.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one where I don't know why it didn't dawn on me how disgusting it was when we just grabbed a trash can, plastic trash can. Wasn't brand new by any means. We just filled it with booze.
Bro, you got to buy a new one.
I don't know.
Wow, you got a perfectly good old one.
There's this guy that he's very popular on social media, and he takes his big kitchen sink and he fills it with a bunch of different booze, and a lot of people absolutely hate him for doing that because, gross things go in the sink.
30 years worth of old food and chew spit and
just a touch of salmonella.
How about I haven't heard of this one. This person's girlfriend is disgusted by the feeling of sweatshirt sleeves touching her hands. If she buys a sweatshirt and the arms are too long, she'll get rid of it, even if it's brand new.
Both of my younger nephews are like that. They always are demanding their sleeves to be rolled up.
Well, that goes a little further than grossed out. That sounds like some kind of a bizarre phobia or something. This could be, too. Grass janitor, Jesus. I love that name. He's a grass janitor. When his wife or daughters get the hiccups, he gets physically ill. They must remove themselves from the room and get rid of it.
Oh, wow.
Huh, that's a new one to me, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never, ever, ever, says a listener, touch a hotel clock radio. Yeah, we hear that all the time about how the hotels are all soaked in semen.
Yeah, the remote controls. They bring that up, the comforter.
People always say to bring like a Ziploc bag to put the remote in. So then you don't touch the remote.
I'll admit, doesn't bother me. None of that stuff bothers me at all.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I sleep very soundly in any hotel bed.
Just don't think about it.
One of the conversations we had earlier, is it gross, or do you think it's gross, to sit on a warm seat that somebody just left you, like a chair at an airport or something like that? What about a public toilet seat that's still warm? A listener wants to know.
That's different.
Oh,
That's
I've been there.
Gross.
Huh?
I can't do that. That's kind of gross.
I can. I get over it pretty quickly.
Tool slinging Jesus doesn't like it when someone's brushing their teeth and they get the toothpaste foam at the corner. Doesn't like that one.
I don't like that look either.
Drips down their chin.
That made it worse. What about wet food? Fun Size Jesus said like leftover bits that end up in the sink after you do dishes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't like the sight of that. I'll go along with that. And then one other listener just says they're grossed out by people who apply chapstick. Something about it. They're unnerved by the sight of it. I've told you guys before that when I put on chapstick, I'm like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. I just smear it all. There's no rhyme or reason. I mean, I certainly get it all over my lips, but I get it all under my nose, down into my chin hair. When I apply chapstick, I go for it.
I remember in high school there was a kid when he did it, it was pretty gross. And also the faces he made, very provocative. It wasn't on purpose, but he was making them. And then when he'd be talking to you, he's looking at you while you're talking, he's putting it on.
I don't know why, but I go full bore when I apply chapstick. I look like I just had oral sex with a Sasquatch or something.
I had that same buddy like you, Nick, except he was a social tick. Like when he got nervous, he would pull his chapstick out of his pocket and reapply it. We'd be like, dude, you have to go wash your mouth off. Your lips are like translucent at this point.
Feels so good.
Yeah, it's just because anytime you get nervous, that was his go-to. And you grab it, and he was an anxious kid as it was. So he clearly always just had these just lips you could see from space.
You got to get it done, Josh.
Yeah, I don't like the feeling of that stuff either. Any of that kind of stuff.
Let's boogie.
18 months now for Hop C, who's off the sauce. Happy for you there. Keep it going. Happy belated birthday to Ryan from Hatch Daddy Jesus. Happy birthday to Matt from John Deere Dozer Jesus. Happy 53rd to Hot Sturgis Jesus from Big Daddy M1 Jesus. Happy birthday to Boof Backfire Jesus. And happy Thursday to you. Thanks for listening, and God willing, we'll be back tomorrow.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor. Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.